Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Good
Yes, indeed.
Morning Xbox. Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody, to the 22nd episode and the special Halloween edition of Good Morning Xbox. I am your host, Mr. Boogity Boogity Boo. Newf Nukem in the room. And this morning we have got a great show for you. We have our usual suspects back in live in the house. And sorry about last week. I was a little under the weather. As you can see, I'm kind of pale, so I'm still struggling. But anyway, it's going to be a good show. We have got our fantastic panel, starting with Cerebral Paul is in the house. What's going on, Paul?
Not much. Sorry, no costume. I'm in the house. Although, just I should have changed my icon to like Newf Nukem. That would have thrown everybody off.
Oh, damn.
Imitators. All right. As you can see, let's skip. We'll leave our special guest till last. Some of you may know her, some of you may not. But let's get down to the bottom. We got this fabulous gentleman coming all the way from the MIB. What's going on, Scrub Nurse?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, if I can have your attention for just a second and look directly into this. No, I'm just playing. But
I thought that was
good to have everybody in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody with us. Glad to have Princess Zelda with us. Let's talk some games and have some fun. Let's go.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. All right, live from Cell Block 22. It's the one and only Eternal Shaddai.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to actually enjoy with everybody like usual, and also welcome Princess Zelda to the panel.
Absolutely. And I don't know what the hell happened to Coolcat Terri, but looks like she's been taken away and replaced by this ghoulish, macabre lady. Coolcat Terri. What's up?
Yo, hello everybody. Happy Halloween. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm looking forward to the show. We have a special guest as well. And I want to see if anybody can guess who my character actually is, because it's not just a random dead person. So we're going to see if you can actually guess it. But yeah, let's have some good times here.
God, it looks familiar. I know the movie. I just can't remember it. Anybody got any guesses? Anybody know? She looks so familiar. I know I've seen it.
It's a cartoon.
It's not from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh
No.
God, I wasn't even
The
thinking
character,
about
the character is not officially from a movie. I think they're making they may have attempted to make one, but it's not officially from a movie. It's definitely not. No.
See, Axel, I just saw the chat, and Axel just mentioned it. I was about to announce that one, Coco.
No, no.
All right. We're gonna bring in our other panel member first, and then bring you back and introduce our. Well, since she's on the screen already, let's bring her in and introduce her. She is Princess Zelda, coming live off of the Iconic Gaming Podcast on Friday night. She is new to the podcast business, but certainly an old school gamer. Welcome to have her here. Glad to have you. She always brings a lot of charisma, a lot of flash and dash, costumes, and a whole lot more. It is Princess Zelda.
The man who breathes life into Tuesday evenings and makes waking up early on Sundays worth every minute. Newf, thank you for having me today. I'm so excited to be here.
We're glad to have you, and I knew you'd come dressed in style. All right, speaking of style, let's bounce out here real quick, and let's bring in our final panel member. There he is, the man who hosts the Iconic Gaming Podcast. It's Fat Man. Oh, it's Axel.
Oh my God. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm not going to wear a mask because I have to wear glasses, and trust me, I would not see anything. I would run into my own camera if I didn't have these on. Dude, I love it. What's up, Newf?
What's up? Oh man, yes, I have had this costume for a long time and just finally dug it out. So it's been a while. All right, I love it. So this is a special Halloween episode, and we'll bring in our special guest to talk about her stuff in just a few minutes. But let's get the panel. First of all, how is everybody doing? Again, sorry about last week. I really missed you guys and missed doing the show. But, I just was not a very good shape last week. And heck, now I'm dealing with back issues again. So that's crazy. But anyway, enough about my problems and issues. Let's talk about what you guys have been doing. And let's I'm starting to sound like Safe House Sam here. And let's
That's what he sounds like.
let's talk about Halloween, baby. It's Halloween, 2021 edition. So yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite movies, games that are all horror based related. If anybody has any, same in the chat. So let's talk about that. But how's everybody doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm doing great.
Good.
Yeah.
Tired as hell.
Look at the overwhelming response of, well, tired.
It's the morning. We'll see again once I drink more of this coffee.
Yeah, it's early on a Sunday morning. How do you think we're doing?
Yeah,
well,
we'll start with Paul. Paul, what game have you been playing most this week?
most this week. Well, let's see. Most this week, I've actually been doing Age of Empires 4 since it just hit Game Pass. But horror-wise, I just finished House of Ashes. I started and finished it last weekend. Short game, but a great game, and I will be going back to it again. In fact, today I might actually end up doing both House of Ashes and Man of Medan, just because it's Halloween and why not? And they're both short enough. I could actually complete them both today. Because I like those kind of story-driven horror games. Those I like more so than like Friday the 13th game or the other one that everybody always plays, Dead by Daylight, because there's no really story there. I love a good story-driven game, so that's basically what's been tying up my last week or so.
Coolcat Terri, how about you? What game has been keeping you busy?
It used to be Far Cry 6 until I finished it. So that was my main thing.
Quick?
Yeah, I'm done with it. I played it every day. So took me a bit.
It feels short when you mention it. It feels like it's short.
No, because I mean it's been out for a little while now, and I played it every day since it came out. So, so no, I got that done. I had a great time with it, but so now I'm pretty much just been bouncing around, and I'm playing. Tongue tied. I've been playing New World quite a bit too. So that's the new MMO that came out a little bit ago from Amazon. So I've been playing that as well.
Axel, how about you, man? What you been up to? What you been playing?
I've actually played Black 4 Blood this week. I finally got a chance to fire it up. Me and my cousin, we teamed up with some randos, but it didn't save our progress. So yesterday we played it with Titan and Doggy, and we had to start the entire thing over, the campaign, I mean. And but if you ever would have wanted to hear me rage, Newf, that was the game. The stupid bridge level, where you have to blow up the bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Titan
and Doggy would go up forward, aggro everything, leave me and my cousin behind to just handle it. So they'd be like, "Where are you guys?" And we're like way back, almost at the beginning, still struggling to move because the zombies latch onto you and they slow you down and all this stuff. So yeah, I raged at them. I called them Blue Falcons. If you know what that means, you know. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And
looks like you hurt Titans. Looks like Titan hurt his back last night trying to carry you. I don't know what that's all about.
I was raging. I'm like, that's it. This is the last time I'm ever playing this game. It's getting uninstalled after tonight. Like I was raging. Good times though. So yeah, I've been playing some Back 4 Blood.
Well, it's a hard freaking game. I'm going to tell you, I don't remember any of the Left 4 Dead games being that freaking tough as that one.
Yeah, it has a balancing issue because after that bridge level, all the other levels were not as hard. At least not to me.
Scrubs, what have you been playing, man?
Well, I've been playing just a little bit because I've been busy putting together baby furniture and everything else. So, but I have been playing just a little bit of Black 4 Blood, but I did get a chance to get my hands on Guardians of the Galaxy. So I started that
Nice.
a little bit yesterday morning, and I'm pleasantly surprised by it. So I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, that's about all the gaming I've been able to do this week is Guardians of the Galaxy and a little Black 4 Blood. So definitely excited.
There.
Thank you.
So you're having a boy?
Yeah, having a little boy on the
Or you
way.
had the
Yeah.
boy already?
No, 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 no. On the way.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
got a
Oh, it's
way.
on the way. On the way. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we got a ways to go, but I'm
Yep.
already getting stuff ready. So make sure that room is ready to go.
That's right. Keep the nose tweezers around for all those dirty diapers.
There you go.
Oh, Eternal Shaddai, what have you been playing, man? With yourself or what? What's going on?
No comments on that one. No,
Yes. Thank you, because this is not gaming after dark.
yeah,
Stop
exactly.
it.
No, actually, I'll be playing Pillars of Eternity. I never played that type of RPG, other than I'm so used to playing JRPGs and some other type. But that one actually got me really interested. The story is really interesting, also. Then I started jumping to Back for Blood, and yesterday I was trying to challenge myself playing Gears 5 insane mode solo. So I'm that type of person like that. Let's go for the hardest mode, and that's what I be playing. I'll be jumping here and there and all that.
Gotcha. Good stuff. All right, let's bounce somebody out here. We're gonna bring in Princess Zelda here. I'm gonna start in the order that they appear on my screen. So we're gonna bring on the scope.
We're gonna hear that that magical noise when she comes in.
Princess Zelda, what have you been playing?
Well, all the talk about Castlevania actually made me go back to playing Castlevania 2 again. And I've also been playing Minecraft Dungeons with my children.
Nice.
So,
Okay, you haven't been affected by the Roblox shutdown?
I've heard so much about it that my ears are bleeding.
I bet. Anybody who's a parent right now is probably tired of telling their kid, they're working on it.
It got hacked. That's what they're
yes.
saying.
Apparently. Yes. So let's get right down to the nitty gritty, the fun stuff, and get right into it here. It's going to be a good show, like I said, a lot of fun. I'm going to have to step aside for just a second, but let's talk about. Let's start off with the main topic, and let's talk about our favorite horror-based video games, or and it doesn't necessarily even have to be a horror game. Maybe it's a game that just features a lot of like Castlevania games, for example. They've never been like scary, but I mean they're based around horror type stuff. I mean vampires and werewolves and all sorts of demonish kind of stuff, and you even got a game like Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins, whichever you want to talk about. And that game had lots of like little dead people and all sorts of crazy stuff. So it can really be anything that's kind of related to the theme. And we'll start off with Cerebral Paul since he's first on the screen. So, Paul, I know you're a big fan of the genre. As you just mentioned at the top of the show, you've been busy playing the new House of Ashes, which I've also been playing, and I'm absolutely loving it. Haven't finished it yet, but absolutely loving it. So, just tell us, about your top 3 games, and we'll move on from there. And tell us a little bit about why you like each one, like what got you into them,
Okay.
why they rank where they do.
Well, right now, probably because it's freshest in my mind, House of Ashes has become number 1. Mostly because of not only the story they tell, but there's some stuff in there that you don't. I can't really. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's a lot of twists and turns that you really don't expect, and you're like, just when you think they're coming from the left, they get you from the right, and it's like it's an incredible story. And so if you're into that kind of narrative driven game, it is it makes you feel very closed in. They did the atmosphere great. If you go back and watch my stream, all I kept doing the whole time was look at the lighting effects. Holy crap, those look great. Because you've got torches and you've got flashlights, and it's not like he's just standing there holding a light when you're pointing it. He's actually very naturally moving the light around, showing you the room, and it looks very natural. And so it really sucked me into the game itself. Where there aren't a lot of games where I sit there on the edge of my seat wondering what's going to happen next. This game pulled that off. Let's see, what else have I really enjoyed in the horror genre, even going way back? I have played some, like probably the first one that really got me was the first Resident Evil, and I think it had to be, or I don't even know if it was the first. I think it was on the N64. It might have been, or on the OG Xbox. again, it was the music, and I had this really sweet surround sound system hooked up, so I'd have this music going in a dark room late at night, and it's just you get very nervous walking down those hallways, wondering what was going to jump out at you. As for his third one, you know what? I really couldn't say because like I said, I play a lot of games, and those two are the two that are sticking with me. Man of Medan would be the next closest because, well, it's one of the more recent. I played it a couple years ago when it came to Game Pass, or about a year ago or so. And that company, I can't wait till the next game. And I actually want to get the first one they did, which is on PlayStation only, and use my roommate's PlayStation and go through it because I hear it's as good, if not better, than House of Ashes. So I'm gonna be. I want to check that out. So like I said, I just like a movie that gets you sucked in. That's not necessarily just running from bad guys. I guess if it's not strictly horror related, games like Vampire or Masquerade or whatever it's called, those are fun too. Very story narrative driven, but they don't suck me in like these do. So that's all I got to say to that. There you go. I never know how to close off. I could just keep rambling all day. Yeah. And Newf isn't here, so Coolcat Terri, let's go to you. What is
All right. For me, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to like the horror genre as a whole, but I do have some memorable games that I've played. One of which was Layers of Fear. It was actually that game. I mean, I got myself so worked up because I don't like scary games that I got myself worked up playing it. I kept on expecting something was going to happen. So I kept building up my own anxiety level to the point that when the smallest little thing happened, I just broke down and cried. I literally broke down and cried. I was streaming the game at the time. I was like, something's going to happen. All the eerie music is happening. In that game, all you do is run around and look and then just kind of like look through like drawers and stuff to try to find like paperwork to try to get an idea of what's going on. And then every now and then there'll be a jump scare. But nothing had happened for the longest time. So I'm just going through drawers. I'm like, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And I got all worked up. And then all of a sudden, a rat ran across the screen. That was it. I was like, yep, I'm done. I just started crying. I was like, I got super worked up. And it was just, I broke down in tears. And I was like, I hate this stuff, And it was quite the ordeal. And then another one was, don't know if people are familiar with the game at all, but The Beast Inside. It came out like a year ago.
Oh, yes.
And I remember the first time. Well, first I had played the demo and I streamed that to see if my community would be interested in the game, to test it out. And then they ended up really enjoying my reaction in the demo. So of course I had to get the full game, and then I played that. But just from the demo by itself, you're kind of like running around in like this old hotel, generic as ever, and a whole bunch of like, it was just a lot of jump scares, people jumping out of like wardrobes and stuff. And I was like, I hate this. And you have to try to like crawl underneath boards to get between the walls. And I'm like, nope. I don't like the feel of being hunted. So I was very freaked out playing that game as well. And then but I would say my favorite, Halloween-esque game isn't even a scary one. It's actually pretty cute. It would be Costume Quest 1 and 2. Those games are fantastic. I highly recommend them, especially if you have kids. They're just a lot of fun. So it's just those I really, really enjoyed the Costume Quest games. And I forget every year to play it on Christmas because there's a special achievement if you play it on Christmas, and I always forget every year to play it. But yeah, those would be my top ones. And I just want to say, when it comes to the horror games, like one of my biggest pet peeves is they only have 4 locations. Every horror game in existence, you're either in an abandoned house, an abandoned hotel, an asylum, or in the woods, or a combination of those. It's like I want to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, why is it always those places? But yeah, no, that's just pretty much it when it comes to the
Have you ever seen my bathroom? That's scary.
What's going on here? What's going on here, Newf?
I don't wear hulky pants.
It's a lot easier to do to drink my coffee now with this mask on, let me tell you. Get rid of that other laughing ass. There you go. Let's catch up with the super chats real quick. Doggy Dog coming in hot and heavy. Doggy Dog, good morning. $1.99. Happy Halloween, everyone. You thought I forgot about you, but I did not, sir. Just been waiting. Let's catch up with the chat real quick, and then we'll catch up with the panel. We got our Rob. We got You're Wicked Hot here this morning. We've got Nix is in the house. I see Titan Drago hanging out with us as well. Maddie Burns is here. We have got Dark Queen Gaming. What is going on? Who else we got in the house this morning?
We got Joe Dunmore. Good morning, Joe.
Joe is here. Good to see Joe.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of our regulars are here. I see Princess Zelda in the chat. Craig Simmons, what's going on, brother? Cyber Gunter is hanging out with us as well. Another great guy to play games with. Gone Mad, Toolman 55, Dan the Man Cunningham. If I missed anybody, please let me know. Apex is here as well. What's going on? Good morning, everybody, and happy Halloween. So anyway, let's get you back up with the chat and get back right into the topics. Gone Mad, hot and heavy, coming in fast with a $5 super chat. The A-Team is back.
That's right.
The A-Team.
Love it.
We're here. All right. Let's get into it. So we've got Paul, Terry. I guess let's get into our guest, and then we'll catch up, and then we'll get scrub back in here. So Princess Zelda, what have been some of your top favorite horror-based games?
I am also not one to gravitate to horror and gore. My husband is one that when I'm on the edge, he likes to push me over by screaming and doing the whole, making it so much more intense. So when thinking about this, I first went back to Mortal Kombat 2 that was the first game that had gore and it was intense. And I absolutely love the entire franchise. I think Mortal Kombat is amazing. Although, and no offense to Arnie, I did not like how they added the Terminator and the Joker into Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 11, there is no way that they would live. Anyway, that being said, I chose Mortal Kombat because of the scenery, the backgrounds, even though it wasn't all. And I like that, like if you were younger, you didn't have to choose the fatality, even though I did. You could do like a friendship or when they turn into babies. So that was fun. My second choice was Friday the 13th. I chose this one because I like that you could either be one of the kids at the camp or that you could be Jason, and you did not know which one you would be. Even when I was Jason, I was also scared because when the camp kids were coming in, I would still jump out. But I love that game, and I thought it was immensely fun. And I liked that you could play with friends and family and try to catch them. That was always fun for me. And the last one I chose was a newer game. It was 12 Minutes. I chose that one because it was also intense when the cop knocked on the door and I didn't have any new material to present and I knew he was going to get me. I thought that one was extremely fun. I don't know if you have played that, anybody here on the panel, but that one was really enjoyable. And once I beat it, I wanted to keep finding new endings for it. So I thought that one was really fun.
Friday the 13th in 12 minutes. Kind of sounds like my sex life.
Oh, look at Terry. Look in the chat. Joe Dunmore did what you should have done to your name. Coolcat Terri. See that? See that? Good.
Cool.
I like that. I'm having a hard time reading chat though because it's all blurry.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I can make out a couple words here and there, but that's not very good.
Poor Terry. I know what it's like.
A lot of squinting right now.
If I didn't have my contacts in, I wouldn't see a damn thing. All right, let's catch up with Axel 1324 and your three favorite selections.
Well, I'm gonna go start with younger. There was this old game on the Sega Saturn called Enemy Zero. Anybody ever hear of it? But in Enemy Zero, you're on a lone space. You're alone in a space station that suddenly gets occupied by some aliens, and you can't see them. But you have a motion tracker. And based on the beeps the motion tracker gives you is the location of the alien. And as the alien gets closer, the motion tracker will keep getting faster in the beeps. Beep, 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 beep. What makes it scary, though, and intense, is you only have a gun. And the gun is close range only, and you can't just shoot. You have to charge it up. So as this thing is beep, 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 I have this charged up gun, and I got to let it go before the alien gets to me. But if you let go too early, well, you don't have enough time to charge it up. You're going to die. If you let go of the charge too late, well, you're dead. You didn't let it go. And, man, that game was scary to me as a little kid. Just listening to the little beeps all the time. There was no music in the game. All you could hear is just yourself just walking. and then suddenly you start hearing the beeps in your earpiece, and it's just an intense little game. Enemy Zero. It never got remade, but it was definitely a great game when I was younger. In the spirit of that, more recent is Alien Isolation. I loved Alien Isolation because it actually gave you an antagonist that you couldn't kill. There was no fight or flight syndrome. It was pure flight, you know. And you had to figure out different ways to hide too. And the AI was fairly smart. You could hide under tables, you could hide in lockers, you could hide here, you could run away, all kinds of stuff. And it could always catch you from behind too. And all of a sudden, the alien tail would be impaled. You'd be impaled. And also the AIs, the actual AIs, I forget what they're called, that they go crazy and they turn against you too. That's an amazing game. I recommend it to everybody. I feel that it's a highly underappreciated game, Alien Isolation. Check it out. Mm-hmm. But my all-time Halloween themed game or games is Castlevania. I played almost all of them. Probably the only ones I haven't played are the N64 ones because I hear they suck. And the Game Boy ones because I didn't have a Game Boy. But I did have a Game Boy Advance. I did have a DS. All those ones, obviously the ones on the Xbox, the original ones on the original Nintendo. The first one had such an iconic soundtrack, and with Princess Zelda, the second one introduced Bloody Tears that basically became the theme song to Castlevania. I love Castlevania games. I love all of them. I love the lore. I love everything about it.
Nice. All right. Scrub.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I tried to roll with the shades, but I can't see the chat without my glasses on. Even I got my TV against the wall. Even that, it was a little bit blurry, so I had to put the glasses back on. So instead of being an Agent K or something, or J, I'm gonna be a mortician. So there you go. That works too. So. As far as the games, I would say Silent Hill was one of my favorites for back in the day. I used to give tours when I was in college of the school during the summertime for the incoming freshmen. So we used to have access to the theater and the university center. So we knew the grounds crew people and the janitors real well. So me and my buddies would go sometimes in the evening times and go into the theater area. It may be seated about 1,000 people or so, and we would go up to the projector room and hook up the PlayStation, and we would be in the middle of this empty building playing Silent Hill on that surround sound, and it freaked you out if somebody even came in and opened the door to that theater. Everybody would freaking jump out of their pants. So I remember that, especially being able to hear the sound, and it was just a great game. It was very suspenseful, so I used to love to play a game and get scared by that. You can pick a different number of those games because they were pretty good. Another one, because of course Scrub Nurse loves shooters. Dead Space. Just listen to the sound. Those freaky creatures, they're steady coming at you, and like you always have to do is take out the leg. So you had a little bit of the gore in there as well, and just freaking you out just walking in these dark corridors. So I'd say Dead Space as well. And then going along with that, I think somebody just popped it up in the chat. Apex, yeah, Fear. I don't know how many have played that from back in the day. Fear was a very good game, and I drift towards those because I'm not just big. Oh man, I just love horror games. Not that I'm scared by them. Trust me, I'll watch it all day long. But I just never got into them so good. Where this is my genre. But yeah, I'd say Silent Hill, Fear, and Dead Space are one of my three go-tos if I just want to get that suspenseful type game. Not as much as I'm just scared out of my pants, but you just don't know what's coming around the corner. Mm-hmm. That's mine.
Great selections. Yes, Fear is always high on a lot of people's lists that I hear. I know Wilmy Hood chats about that one quite a bit, and a few other people, and they're hoping that that franchise returns. I mean, that's one thing. Unlike movies, I guess horror video games or horror-related video games are. I don't know. I think overall, there's probably not as many of them made as there are movies, obviously, and they're generally better made. I think for the most part. I think movies, the themes have been done to death. I think it's very hard to come up with original ideas. That's why a lot of the movie scene falls flat. But not to kind of get off topic and everything else, I'll give you my favorites, and let's also hear from in the chat about some of the games that you like. See, Joe Dumb versus Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Like I said, Apex brought up Fear. Gone Mad talks about Dead Space. And sound is a large aspect of these games and how well they're done. It's how well they use it or do not use it, sort of thing. So so that's a big thing, is how well they do sound. There's been a lot of great examples. My personal favorites, and there's been a lot. I mean, I could really add a lot to this list, but I guess in recent years, these are the ones that stood out to me the most. I mean, if I had to go back to the 16-bit era, like Ghouls and Ghosts was just such an epic game. I say Ghouls and Ghosts because the one on the Genesis was my favorite. Just it played better. The Super Nintendo version of the game looked better, but the Genesis one played better. The Super Nintendo one has frame rate issues like mad. But I really liked, for games, I'm going to say in the last couple of years, the one that really took the genre to a different level for me was Resident Evil 7. Taking an iconic franchise and bringing it into the first person sort of space really brought the game to life. Plus, the character design and detail was so well done. Very claustrophobic in the house to start the game. Then it opens up, and it just became a wild ride. And if you've played it in VR, it's doubly creepy and scary in VR. So I have to say Resident Evil 7. Another one that I found extremely scary to play, and I think it's because of the lack of what you don't see sometimes is what you do, is a game Outlast and Outlast 2. Those are pretty darn creepy. Really cool aesthetic, where you're going around basically with limited light and you're in the, you're down in the cellars and different places. That was a pretty freaky game. And Alien Isolation, which I have to be honest, I never really played much of it. I did play about the demo, so I want to go back and actually play it. But even just the demo alone had my heart beat racing. It was just so well done. It was like that game just captured the movie in a certain way, but brought it down to a different level. Because like Axel said, it wasn't all about the guns. It wasn't all about just you going around with a partner and shooting stuff. Like, you found out how menacing and how intimidating that creature was. And and to me, it best closely resembles the first two movies in the franchise, where the first two movies in the Alien series had a little more of that element to it. It was a little more about, we can hear them, we don't see them, they're coming, and you felt a bit of dread. But later games and later movies kind of got a little bit more action oriented, where okay, it's just like any good horror movie, like Nightmare on Elm Street, for example, right? Like those movies and some of those other ones. The first one is sort of like, at least semi scary, I guess you could say. And then after you've kind of, like Freddy Krueger, like he got sillier and sillier as every movie went along, where some of the deaths were almost more comical than anything else. And like when you're going to a horror movie and you end up laughing at half the stuff, I don't know if they're hitting or missing. So
true.
so those would be, I guess, my three games. There's a lot of honorable mentions. Fatal Frame on the PlayStation, that was another crazy game. I think that's kind of the precursor to Outlast in certain ways. I mean, you got a lot of the Silent Hill games had some of the best setting character designs I've ever seen. There's just so many games. The Castlevania games have never been overly creepy, but they've had some great action set pieces, some incredible, obviously, bosses and level design and character as well, and some great musical scores hidden behind them. So a very iconic franchise. And, Resident Evil for the 3D aspect is probably one of the games that most people remember for starting the genre out, but like for me now to go back and play the Resident Evil games, what's scarier than the game itself is the play control. Nasty. You go back and try to play you're trying to play these 3D based games with very archaic, that tank control. Move 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. I mean, at the time it was great. But honestly, I'm so glad that Capcom was wise enough to go back and remake the Resident Evil like 2 and 3 with again modern day graphics and modern day controls and all that sort of stuff. So those are my particular picks. Let's just catch up with the chat again, see who Crispy Rambo. That's why Wes Craven's New Nightmare was my favorite element, because it was more serious than the rest. That's right. Yeah, it was kind of almost like a reboot of that particular movie franchise as well. Who else we got going on here? Splendiferous says, who was dressed up like Commissioner Gordon? Yes, hey, he could be the new commissioner.
I'll take it.
Jeffrey, what's his name? Jeffrey
Right.
Wright plays commissioner
Yeah.
now in the new Batman movie.
Mhm.
Well, who else we got? Layers of Fear from Crispy Rambo. Hello Neighbor looks intense. I think Hello Neighbor kind of borrows from that. Axel said that, but that's kind of borrows from that Alien kind of thing, right? Where you're getting chased around, trying to find great places to hide and then scurry and all stuff like that. So, great choices. Anybody else jump in with any final thoughts or honorable mentions? Anything maybe anybody forgot about on the panel?
We forgot completely about the
Oh,
prisoner.
did we forget Shaddai?
Yeah, the prisoner have rights. The prisoner have rights. Too.
Yeah, prisoners got
Right.
rights. Sorry,
You have the
Shaddai.
right to
what?
shed ass.
Go ahead,
You know
Shaddai.
why I'm here? Because of Batman.
Yeah. You're because of Batman. I forgot because the way the screen is located. You're
I'm in the
top.
damn asylum.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Okay, for the first one, this actually just bring me back memories, and it took me a while to play this, and I really got engaged with it. And it's Alone in the Dark, the New Nightmare, PlayStation 1. That one, after Resident Evil 3, that's when they released Alone in the Dark. And I was so into I was really into the horror. And that one, it was pretty much the atmosphere, the guns, the gameplay. It was pretty much everything. The story was very interesting until I guess later on when what was called, because I was looking on Google. I think it was called Infro Games, the one who made that. Yeah, let me see. Infogrames. Infogrames. Yeah, but then Atari took over, and when I played Alone in the Dark under Atari, for some reason, I guess they drifted away, and it wasn't as scary as it was when I actually played on the PlayStation 1. But I was always been a fan of Alone in the Dark. For my second one would be Resident Evil 2. I will never forget until this day, and I'm with Paul on that one. When you have to go down the hallway, and every single time that I have to go to the damn typewriter, that damn song is so spooky. The piano, the audio of that piano, it was always haunting me with that. And I'm like, I'm afraid of getting out of this door, and I bet there is a zombie there. And it was very intense. The music, that soundtrack of the piano, it always got me there. And for my last one would be The Evil Within Part 1. It just brought me back memories. When I start playing that, it reminds me of Resident Evil 4 for some reason. It's just that the visuals on that is a little bit more darker, like almost blackish, grayish, instead of like we're so used to the Resident Evil with this dark, gloomy, and for some reason comes like if it was damp or something, even though it's not wet. But I just like the atmosphere, the story, how it was very extremely gory. It made me also think of Saw. I thought I had to do some puzzles so I could get out of probably a room or anything like that from a butcher. So it just reminded me of pretty much the movie Saw. And for me, those are the three things that actually, when it comes to that, I had Resident Evil 4 for my last one. but for me, those are the three actually that I like for horrors.
Mhm. Well, Resident Evil 4 is now out for the Oculus VR. I can't wait to go and
That is
try it out.
correct. That is correct.
I heard it's really good. They've done a pretty good job with it, apparently. Graphics haven't obviously been upgraded too much, but the game plays pretty wild in VR here. So definitely have to try it out for sure. Alrighty. All right. Let's does anybody else have anything to add here, or we'll move on to the next topic?
I want to add one more game, just like an
Go ahead.
honorable mention. There's a game I played a few years back called Coolcat. I don't know if anyone's ever played that one, but it's another horror themed game. It takes place in like the Russian wilderness, and you have like these supernatural beings. Some of them are invisible, and other ones are just on fire. And you have to try to sneak around the in the mountains and stuff. And all you have in the game is a compass and a map. And the map has no landmarks or anything on it. It's just like just an old school map, and you gotta try to figure out where you are on the map. They don't show you where you are on the map, so you gotta just figure out where I am on the map, like you would in real life, and kind of like figure out how to get to places.
Mhm.
And it's all you have, just the map and a compass, and you have to like navigate through like the game, and it's pretty scary when you're going through like a dark cave, and you can hear the enemy. But like I said, a lot of them are invisible and they stay invisible. So you have to watch for like their footsteps going through the water or something. And the next thing you know, they're right up in your face. You know what I mean? It's creepy. It was a great game.
Nice. Yeah, I heard that Chernobyl Light is pretty cool too, which is very similar.
The other one online, Condemn. That was good.
Condemned. Yes.
That Condemn was good. Part 1, part 2, Deadshot. I don't know what happened there. But
a lot of people want that to come back. I've heard a lot of people asking Sega.
I'm one of them. I wanted to come back. It was a really good game.
Yeah.
Unless Microsoft buy them.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of great games over the past few years. It's a genre that it never sells like in the Grand Theft Auto territory, but there's always an audience for it. And like I said, if some of these games you play them in VR, they just take on a new life of their own, man. I'm telling you, it's almost like really being there. It's if you got hurt,
my roommate just got a new VR headset, so first time I've got a chance to really play with VR.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing how much it sucks you in and makes you feel like you are part of whatever's going on. I haven't done anything scary in it, but I did like the demo stuff. Yeah. I did Vader Unleashed or whatever it's called, and the Demio, and yeah, it's really cool. I'm now hooked on VR. So
well, yeah, like the thing you get with VR that can't be replicated in a standard game format is the sense of scale and like the depth awareness. Because I got to ask you, Paul, when you saw Darth Vader. Did you get the part where you got to see Darth Vader and he stands over you?
Oh yeah, and you're cringing down. And you're like,
wow, like you almost felt like you were in Star Wars, and like it was going to crush you. Like it literally was. Like, wow, this is some intense crap right here. This is crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm afraid of playing that on VR if I get tangled by that cord. Just because you're trying to swat, like don't touch me or anything like that.
Oh, that's great.
Just
because you're playing on Oculus, there are no cords.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, if it's on Oculus, you got no cords, man. You just got to stay within the parameter that you outline on the floor, and you get to do that before every game if you want. You get to draw around your surroundings, and it just gives you like a grid. So basically, if you turn around, you start walking too far one way or the other, the grid's going to pop up to let you know you're now within striking distance of something.
Yeah, you don't want to hit the wall without looking.
And for accessibility, a lot of the games have hey, I'm sitting down stationary mode.
Mm-hmm.
The mode kind of failed in the way for Vader, but for the other ones I tried, it worked pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, and they have a rating on each game of how much intense movement there is, like whether it's going to be really nauseating potentially, or if it's like pretty A-okay kind of deal. But anyway, getting off topic on VR, but I'm just saying that VR makes horror games. It takes into a whole new level. Let me tell you, absolutely. Ever hit yourself with a lightsaber? No, but I know with Oculus, again, they have a great feedback in the controller. So like if you put the lightsaber against something, or you touch two lightsabers together, you feel that jolts of energy. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Alrighty. Let's move on. We're gonna go with horror movies now. Let's bring Axel back in here. We're gonna let's bounce around the panel a little bit here, and we'll bring Axel back in, and we're going to start with horror movies now, from games to the movies that basically inspired said games. And I'm glad when Princess Zelda said Friday the 13th earlier, she wasn't referring to the abomination that was the NES game back on the, in the day. Oh, licensed games are so bad on the NES. They were bad. Most of them were probably made or published by Acclaim or an LGN.
LGN and Acclaim, man. Those two. Infamous.
Yep. Let's get a quick cash grab out, put a nice cover on it, and call it a day. All right, that was what was scary, the video games back then.
But hey, it was
we
better
paid
than
$80 for games that were terrible back in the day.
It wasn't ET though.
yeah, better than Atari doing it because they crashed the whole market.
What a disrespect, Scrub, by saying that.
By making that game like that was a disrespect.
You know what? Actually, before we get into the next topic, let me bring Terri back in because I'm gonna get her to do her indie spotlight. I'll give her a couple of seconds to warm it up. I think this would be a great time since we're halfway through the show. So let's just let's get Terri back in here. All right, Terri. Anytime you're ready, anytime you can see what you're doing, go ahead and run your game.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Sorry, should I give you advance warning?
I have everything ready. It's just I have to squint to see what buttons I'm clicking.
Right close to the screen. Can you see
Don't click
me
the
now?
wrong thing. Okay, I think I got it. All right, guys. I'm gonna go with the game that I had planned for last week, so I won't have a Halloween themed one for this one. I apologize. I'm unprepared. All right, but here, we're going to go ahead with this one. This one's a fantastic game. Some of you might recognize it because it used to be on Game Pass not too long ago, so maybe you played it. But here's the trailer real quick.
Not gonna lie, it's been Naruto running for me.
Crosscode.
Okay, so that's Crosscode. Like I said, it used to be on Game Pass for a good while, and I think they took it off about a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic game. So if you're into the retro style RPG scene, then this is definitely a game for you. I can't see what I'm looking at. Here we go. So go ahead and definitely check it out. It's great action. You play as a character named Lee or Leah. I'm not sure how they really want you to pronounce that, but she starts out as a character who's actually a mute, so she can't talk at all. So everyone's trying to communicate with her, and she can't speak. So you start with that, and then eventually they start to try to teach her one word at a time. But it's a lot of good fun. It's got over 30 different boss fights in the game. You have 120 different enemy types in the game, so great variety. That's one of the biggest pet peeves I have with certain games is there's not enough variety in the enemies you come up against. It has over 60 different music tracks, a great soundtrack. I know Axel likes a good soundtrack. So it's a fantastic game. I was thoroughly enjoying it when I played. I started playing it on PC, and then they eventually brought it over to Xbox Game Pass. But it retails for $20. If you do PC, you do have access to a free demo on Steam. Otherwise, it's $20. It's on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and the Nintendo Switch. If you just want a nice little retro RPG to play on the go, whatever, go ahead and check that over there. It's fantastic.
Awesome stuff, guys.
Looks pretty good.
How did I not hear about this game? I literally just added it to my wish list on Steam.
That's I tell you, Terry's been selling these indies each and every week. Everybody's going picking them up. So good stuff. I love it. All right, we'll get into the next topic here right now. But again, let's just address the chat and say hello to everybody. Happy Cloud Gamer can't stay, but thanks for stopping by and thinking about us and pop it in for even a couple of minutes. Greatly appreciate it. Our good buddy Titan Drago still hanging out with us in the chat. We got Noel Boy 1983. What's going on? We got BZH and Koo. What's going on, BZH? Mr. Tushy is in the house. Mr. Tushy, how are you doing, man? Glad to see you're still keeping the community game nights alive. I've done an absolutely abysmal job of doing that the last few weeks. Life has just gotten in the way. Not likely I'm going to get to it tonight either. That's why I haven't posted anything. But I'd say probably even next week. I don't think I'm going to be covering a hockey game next week. So, So, anyway. But, hey, Paul can always take up that mantle whenever he sees fit. So,
Wait, what do you mean covering a hockey game? Like going to one or actually like broadcasting?
No, I'm volunteering at a hockey game there. I got to work security and stuff. So, I'm not playing in one. I can't play in one right now. My back's all screwed up again.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Casket Repair, what's going on? Apex, Splendiferous, what's happening? Doom Reaper, Massholes in the chat, what's going on, guys? Thank you again for your support and being here with us on this beautiful Halloween morning or evening, wherever you are. Iceman, LMH, what's going on, brother? How are you doing? Good to see you here. Dark Zone 2525, happy Halloween to you as well. All right, let's talk about movies. The movies that have inspired many of these video games. And movies are a lot tougher because there is, as I mentioned, so many of them. So I guess you got to ask yourself, what stood out to you? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a scary movie. I find games way scarier than movies, to be honest with you. And I think it's because you're interactive with games, whereas in movies, like, you don't play a role in the outcome. That's the difference. In movies, you're just a participant. You're just sitting there taking it in. And most of the time with movies, you can almost predict as how they're going to go. Where a game, a lot of times, it's just again, your choices dictate a lot of the stuff about the game. So let's talk about movies and the movies that everybody loves. Movies that that rank up there in your top 3 at least for best horror-based movie. And I'm gonna jump out here and let you guys have at it, and we'll start with our guest, and we'll move around the circle. So I am if I remove myself from the stream, does that mean I go or what? No, I think we can.
No, it doesn't. It just puts you in the green room.
All right, I'm gonna move to the green room, and we'll go around.
Okay, well, and he'll cut himself off. So there you go.
Yeah. There you go, Princess.
Go ahead, Princess.
So yes, we'll start with Princess Zelda, Scrub, Coolcat, Axel, Paul, and then Shaddai as I move out, and then I'll come back with mine. So now I'm going to bounce out.
I do have to start by saying, Coolcat Terri, I love your contributions. I love this whole panel, but I always add to my list whenever she adds a movie or adds a game because they're phenomenal and they look so interesting and fun. That being said, the movies that I chose, it was difficult due to the immense number of phenomenal movies. I chose Silver Bullet. It's almost like a family classic, like a holiday classic. Every year we watch Silver Bullet. It's the first scary movie I watched with my children. It's fantastic. The second one I chose was called Frailty. Has anybody seen Frailty?
I have.
Cerebral. What did you think?
You're mentioning.
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was very interesting.
I don't want to give away too much in case anybody chooses to watch it, but it's about a serial killer, and this man walks into the police station to discuss what he knows about this serial killer, and it just becomes such an interesting movie with twists and turns. It was really fantastic. I think that's why I liked it so much, because it was so unexpected, and it was fantastic. And my third choice was The Lost Boys, a classic vampire movie. Once again, another family favorite. Not too gory, interesting, fun, and the man with the saxophone. I mean, it's classic.
Hold Hold on. And talk to me about Silver Bullet. I've never heard of this movie. Can you like go over the premise for me?
You've
Sure.
never heard of Silver Bullet? Holy
Never.
cow.
Never.
Silver Bullet is about werewolves, and there's this little boy, and he is in a wheelchair. It's Corey Haim, I believe. He's in a wheelchair, and he is the main character. He's our protagonist. And there are, I don't want to give away too much if you want to watch it because it's so good. But there are werewolves in the town, and the children have to stay safe. Everybody has to stay safe, and they're trying to determine how to eradicate the wolves, essentially.
And it is based on a Stephen King novel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I worked at a Blockbuster and I thought I'd seen them all, but I've never even heard of this one.
Wow, sure.
Seriously.
It's an 80s movie, dude. But yeah, it's actually really good. And
it never came to DVD then. That's why.
if you can imagine having Gary Busey as an uncle, there you go.
Gary Busey, yes. The cool uncle that gives him fireworks.
Yeah.
Yes. That is all I have.
I'm looking up where this movie is streaming right now.
There you go. well, my list is I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, but I would definitely put Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I know there's been some remakes, but I kind of like the original one just because it's grainy and it just makes it feel a little bit more dirty and scary, even though I know it looks a little bit more goofy with Leatherface and his mask and stuff. But I just love that as a good, just suspenseful horror genre, or just any kind of scary movie. So that's one of mine. Then I have Hellraiser, because I just love Pinhead and all his acolytes and the different ways that people keep touching and opening this dang box. And
One correction real quick. They're Cenobites, not acolytes. They're Cenobites.
Well, no. I'm just saying, using the word acolyte. That's
Okay,
the people
okay,
that follow with him. Yes. I know what you mean, though. Yes. Well, technically, it's no. I'm just joking.
Hey, with the glasses on, that works really well, actually. Yeah.
So I'll go with Hellraiser, and then another one. It's more suspense and thriller, but when you look at the different sets and the different gore that happens in some of the parts of the movie. Seven.
Yeah.
If y'all ever watch that, especially with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt and God, I can't remember the antagonist name right now, off the top of my head. But anyway, that movie, just trying to figure out what's going on, seeing how these people are getting murdered and following the clues and stuff like that, and then of course everybody at the end, what's in the box? So those three are my definite go-tos, and stuff like The Exorcist would be like a close third or to those end. But those are my horror movies. Like I said, it's so many and so many different ones to choose. It's easy for everybody to pick the same ones, but so I tried to do a little bit different. But those are mine. But you got Cerebral Paul.
I have got a list a mile long. But let's see if I can break. I'm going to break this down almost by decade. I'm into the classic horrors: Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. I love the Universal stuff. So, they especially if you've never watched the old Frankenstein, watch Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein together, because they tell the complete story. But yeah, they're not gory or anything, but they're good. They're great stories, and Frankenstein is almost like one of the original zombie stories, because the monster is a zombie. He's made of a bunch of different people, but he's still basically a walking corpse. Then we have my absolute favorite that I go to every year is the original 1978 Halloween. I think that movie was so well done. And if you watch, there's a on Netflix, the movies that made us, or whatever it was, they talk about it, and there's things in there I never noticed. If you ever watch the original Halloween, there was almost no blood. It was done. They took it from like Alfred Hitchcock and Psycho. your mind fills in the spots where you think there should be blood or gore or whatever more than anything. I mean, and it's just so well done. And then more recent, I am into some gore. Okay, I actually it took me watching it like twice, but I like things like Hostel, and a lot of times it's because I want to see the effects more than more than anything else. I want a movie to it's going to sound nasty to try and gross me out, you know, try and get a visceral reaction from me. And the first time I watched Hostel, it did it, but now it's kind of it's like now I'm looking forward to it. I love the what are those movies that I always forget the name of? Where there's a group of kids usually that should have died and they didn't. So then they're dodging death for the rest of the movie.
Oh, Jesus, the one where where death chases them.
Yeah,
Final Destination.
yeah, the Final Destination movies. I love those for the creative ways that they've come up with how to kill these kids or whoever. And I'm always looking forward to that. It's like, okay, what's going to happen here? We have water, we have electricity. Nope, it's not there. It's going another way. Okay. So those are the kind of things I like. But I like a lot of horror movies. Like I said, I could talk about this all day. So there's a short list for you. So, and who's next? On my screen, it would be Axel. Or not Axel, excuse me. It would be Eternal Shaddai.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you just mentioned one of the movies that really got me intrigued, and that was Final Destination. Especially the first two, the way they died, the way they set out and they died and all that. That was really gruesome.
Yeah.
And I really love those, but I don't know what happened. Due to the course of timing, I guess probably because of age or anything like that, but they kind of drifted away from the nature of how it was the first one and the second one. And for the other one will be the pretty much classic Chucky. Chucky is another one. And the thing is that when I came from Puerto Rico in '94, I started watching Chucky. And I never seen that before until, like I said, I got here to the United States. And that one was really interesting. It was really interesting, but I never expected it was gonna be like that. All horror. I'm like, every single time that I go to Toys R Us, I'm like, I don't want no dog. I don't want to see no toys, no anything like that, because it would probably kill me too. Those are my two, and I think the last one should be Saw. Saw was really, really, really good. It got me really surprised. It just the story, how people have to decide who should die to survive, and how crafty was the villain to how to kill people. And it was awesome. I don't know how to explain it, because the thing is that the story was good as in general. The movie is good as in general. And I think the next one should be Axel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but real quick, there's a super chat. Talking about Final Destination Gone Mad drops $5. He goes, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." Love that scene. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a quick honorable mention, and that's gonna be to the original Frankenstein, the black and white Frankenstein. That movie caused panic back in the day. It was so influential. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a quick honorable mention to the original Frankenstein. If you haven't seen the original black and white Frankenstein, these days it's very timid. It's borderline boring. Mm-hmm. But if you're into film, if you're a movie buff, you should definitely check it out. So scary movies for me. I'm going to go pick up where Shaddai left off, and I'm going to go specific here. I'm going to go with Saw 2.
Yep.
And the Saw movies don't really gross me out, don't really scare me. But in Saw 2, so at the time I was single, I was on a date. And, you're putting on your best face. This lady that I was with wanted to see Saw 2. And when the guy picks the girl up and throws her into the pool of needles.
Oh,
I have a fear of needles to begin with, and then they throw her into a pool of needles. It's the only time in a theater or in a movie where I've gone, no, and I literally closed my eyes with my hands while on a date. I was embarrassed. We never went on a date ever again.
she saw that.
Yeah. So that movie gets my first one. The second scary movie I'm going to go back to also the game, is the original Alien, the very first one. Sigourney Weaver by herself with this alien, and it has jump scares. It's creepy. The acting is fantastic. The atmosphere is dark, lone station, and the fact that she had to suck it out of the airlock to beat it, because obviously you couldn't kill it, was fantastic. The original Alien was a horror movie. It wasn't an action movie like they turned into later. It was a horror movie, and it was a fantastic movie for me. I love it. And the last one I'm going to mention, there's a personal story. I was, once again, with a lady, and she wanted to go see P.S. I Love You. Now, P.S. I Love You is a romantic comedy, right?
Yeah.
That's horror.
No. Listen to the story. Listen to the story, okay? It is 100% a horror story. So in P.S. I Love You, as you know, the person's husband dies, and she keeps getting letters from him every day or every week or whatever in the mail for a year. And it's super romantic how even in death, this person is showing her all this love, blah, blah, blah. And when I get out of the movie, the person I'm with goes, "Man, that was so fantastic. I wish you did that." And in my head, I was like, "You want me to die? You want me to do that? That guy's dead. Why do you want me to die?" So here I am in bed thinking, this person's going to kill me. I did not sleep that night because I was afraid this person was going to kill me, and she was crazy enough to do it. Yeah, also broke up with her. So, yeah, nobody could tell. P.S. I Love You was scared because of what it did to girls' head. That they'll be like, "Oh, that's so romantic. I wish you would do that. I wish someone would do it." Guys, don't let them. That means they're going to kill you.
Hey, it's like the movie Lake House is a horror movie, even though it's romantic. Why? Because I never seen two people communicating different time in just in one mailbox.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are my scary movie moments, if you will. And yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Coolcat Terri.
I'll go now. So like I've been saying, I am not a fan of the horror stuff, but I do have some moments. So back in high school, I was with a group of friends, and we all voted for what movie we were going to see. It was just sporadic. Hey, we're going to go to the movies. We got there. We're looking at what was on. We had to go and we put it up to a vote. Every single person voted for Saw except for me, so I got outvoted. I don't remember which Saw it was. I've only ever seen one. It was the one I saw at this moment. I think it might have been 4, but I honestly do not know. I just remember there was a scene where there were people in a storefront window, and everybody thought it was just like a setup, and then obviously people died on display to the public. And so I don't know which one that was. It might have been 4. I don't know. I remember it was like the one where there was the woman who was supposed to be playing the game, but I guess she had played the game before, and then there was the big twist at the end. But whatever. So whatever one that one was, I saw that one, and it was too gory for me. I am the complete opposite of Paul. I despise gore. I can't stand it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. So the whole time in the movie, they're all getting into the movie, and I'm just like, I'm not watching this movie. I just kind of was just twiddling my thumbs. I was like, I was looking everywhere but the screen for like 2 hours. It was a horrible thing. I hated it. I hated it so much. So that was that one. And then I remember I went to the theaters with my husband, and we went, and Quentin Tarantino had a double feature called The Grindhouse that had Planet Terror, I think. It was Planet Terror and what was the car? Death Proof.
Yes.
So we went to go see that. I love Death Proof because that one wasn't scary. So I love that one. But then we got to Planet Terror, and that movie was just gory and creepy. Like people's body parts were melting and falling off, and I was like, nope, I can't do this. So that one really, really freaking got to me. And then I remember as a kid in the 90s, I really was into the R.L. Stine Goosebumps books. I really loved reading those books. And then eventually later on, if you guys remember, they ended up starting making all like the little mini movies for each book.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I watched, I think it was The Haunted Mask. But I remember there was this scene where the mask kind of looked like this dead ghosty skeleton mask, and it just started floating by itself through like a graveyard. It scared the absolute crap out of me as a kid. I saw that. I had nightmares. I turned the movie off. I couldn't finish it. It was the scariest thing ever as a little kid, seeing like this ghost mask going through like the graveyard and then coming up and sneaking up behind a child and like attaching to the kid. And I was like, nope, I hate this. I was over it. I was like, no more Goosebumps for me. It was too real. I couldn't handle that. But so yeah, no, I'm not real big on the scary
Did they have
stuff.
some type of like a TV show or a game show like that before?
They had.
I remember that.
For Goosebumps, yeah, they had the books first, and then they had like the little mini '90s like movie stuff that they did, kind of like when they did Animorphs and stuff. And then
they had a series for a while, and every story was told over 2 episodes. So
That's true. That's actually true.
Tales from the Crypt used to freak me out when I was little.
I love that show. The Crypt Keeper. The Crypt Keeper was awesome.
I loved that one as a kid. I loved Tales from the
Who just did that laugh? Who just did that laugh? It was so perfect.
Yeah, I absolutely loved Tales from the Crypt Keeper as a kid. But yeah, no, the Goosebumps one with the haunted mask, that one, like most of the ones were just kind of like cringy, like campy 90s films. They weren't scary, but that one with the ghost mask going through that was too much. It was like, they did a really good job with the special effects back in the 90s for that one for me as a kid. So that was too much. But I also want to mention, it's not scary at all. It's just my personal tradition. Every year for Halloween, I watch Hocus Pocus because I just love that movie so much. It's not scary at all, unless you're afraid of Bette Midler. But otherwise, no, it's just one of my traditions. I watch it every year. I just really love that movie. It's a great movie. But yeah, and then I also kind of just want to throw something in there super spontaneous. It has nothing to do with movies or anything like that. But, since no one has guessed it, I want to do something really fun real quick. Since we're like an hour in and we still got some time before the show ends. If anybody in the chat, and this is going to be just for people watching live, apologies for those that watch later. I'm just going to do for those watching live. If anybody in the chat, and I'll give it to the panel too, because I haven't told you guys my costume. If anybody can actually guess who my character is, I'll let you pick a game off. I have like a 4-page Word document of nothing but PC games. If someone can guess who I am, you can pick a game off my list. So have at it.
I say if it was from a cartoon.
It's easy. You're
And
Coolcat
I've
Terri
already
in
and I already no. And I already gave the hint. I already gave the hint that my character is not from a movie. So you're gonna have to think of other things.
So it's not Coco.
And it is a well-known character, to people who are into pulp culture. So you should figure it out. Hopefully.
Well, you do honestly look like one of the characters in the game Grim Fandango.
Okay, but no, it's not from that. That would have been great, but it's not from that.
By the way, I corrected the chat, and let me just say that They're Coming to Get You, Barbara is from the Night of the Living Dead, the original pop culture zombie movie. So,
you're not the girl from Nightmare Before Christmas, is it? Or
nope.
Or the corporate.
She said not a. She said not a movie.
Not a movie. Okay.
Not a movie. So think of.
So that left out Brandon Lee from The Crow. So.
Wow! Many ages.
Great hair. Caesar.
Are you Jack Skeleton?
Movie.
No.
The movie.
Lady Death.
Ma'am.
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. I think everybody's had their chance to pick their movies, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So now it is my turn, and I will give you my 3 movies, and I'll tell you why I picked each and every one. My top 3, and I'm going to start with number 3 moving down. 28 Days Later. Because honestly, just such a well-done movie. It was so well done. I think it's a Danny Boyle film. Stars the guy who did the Scarecrow in Batman Begins. I forget his name there, but just a good movie. Because we've seen a lot of zombie movies over the years, but the way this one did it, it had a certain authenticity, a certain realism to it, and it was very visceral, and it just had a lot of suspenseful moments. Again, it's one of those movies that just has great pacing and build up, kind of gets you excited, and then doesn't oversaturate. So really, like 28 Days Later, and the sequel. Was really good as well, but the original was just off the charts. Love that movie. Gillian Murphy, isn't it? Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy, I think, is the actor in that one. Number two, and this one is not as scary, for us now to watch it in this day and age, I guess you could say. But for me, in 1984, I wasn't very old, so this movie resonated. And it's the kind of movie that when you watched it, probably as a kid, you were like, "Yeah, I'm never falling asleep again." I think you know where I'm heading with this. The original Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, it became a pop culture phenomenon. It's been an iconic movie for decades. It turned Freddy Krueger from just, this burnt up crispy old dude with the big hand, into, like, again, he's in games, he's in movies, he's at t-shirts, toys. I mean, that tells you something about how much a movie resonates when it basically becomes a pop culture phenomenon. You can say the same for Jason as well, and Michael Myers. I mean, Halloween costumes. But Freddy Krueger was just unbelievably scary. And it was scary just because, again, he was in your nightmares. He was in, you went to sleep. And that movie just had so many iconic scenes at the time. And of course, for those who don't remember or have forgotten or didn't know, Johnny Depp was in that movie. One of his first ever roles, believe it or not. Yeah, Johnny Depp was in that movie. That's the boyfriend. So I really like Nightmare on Elm Street. They have done several good ones, as somebody alluded to in the chat earlier. I really did like Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That was done after, I guess, the first 5 movies were done. Like I said, they kind of got a little bit campy after 1 and 2 in particular. Then they started kind of getting a little bit like, again, it was more like just comedy as opposed to just scared anymore. It's just like, what kind of originally crazy ideas Freddy Krueger going to come up with next, right? And I guess finally this one really gave me the creeps. It's a little bit newer. It's based on a Japanese horror movie called Pengu or something. It's called The Ring. You guys ever heard of it? And Naomi Watts was in that one, and that movie really did give me the creeps. And that was one of the movies too that sort of started that trend of the long dark-haired girl and the creepy crawly animations. Like after that, it seemed like every movie had a girl that had black hair that you couldn't see the face and crawled really weird and around the house and everything else. It was just, I don't know, but that movie was just, it had all these imagery, and I just found that one was really damn creepy to me. So those would be my tops. There's been a lot of great ones over the years. Somebody said in the chat, I love The Hills Have Eyes. Even the first Wrong Turn wasn't too bad. There was, there's been a lot of great movies out there. Some really good scary stuff. And there's some campy stuff that I love as well, like Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead series, that sort of stuff. And yeah, just almost too many to mention. But those would be a couple of my all-time favorites that rank right up there and all that stuff. There's some newer ones out there too. I really like The Conjuring. I think that's a great movie, especially the original. A lot of times the originals are good, and after that, I think that what always happens with sequels is that the I guess you sort of know what to expect. I think that's why sequels never work well like the original, because by then you sort of know how it's going to play out. Is like you said, somebody mentioned Final Destination. Like the first movie was so great, and then they had 4 or 5 of those afterwards. Yeah. But again, the same thing. Like the sequels weren't bad either, but it was just you kind of knew then how it was going to play out, and they starting to get predictable a little bit. So I think that's the problem with that sort of stuff. So,
well, that's why I went for the with those. I go for the creative death. It's like I know what's going to happen, but how are they going to get there? Is what I'm looking at.
Exactly. That's the same way I felt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't drive behind a logging truck.
That's right.
don't drop your bottles.
Yeah.
Paul, you alluded to it as well, and like there's something. All the new horror stuff obviously relies. Jesus Christ! I think the sink is coming down behind me here. I got the washroom pipes come down behind my head here.
Oh,
podcast, so that's what you're hearing. It's not my bladder letting loose, I promise you. But you alluded to Paul. There's something not quite like to me. Like the 1980s were just an era that defined two things for me: action movies and horror movies. And while they might be a little bit more campy to what we're compared, there's something authentic about those genres back in the 80s. I think it's because everything was done with real-time actors and real-time props and stuff like that, where everything now is largely CGI based. Like, as you look at Child's Play and you look at most of these iconic horror movies, you notice they're all from mostly the 80s. So it can't be a coincidence with that. Now
No.
everything is just like, did you guys see the latest Child's Play movie where they kind of rebooted
No.
it? Mark Hamill
Yeah.
is the voice of Chucky, and it's just like,
No.
it's not bad, but it doesn't have that magic that the old ones had.
Right. And a lot of it does have to do with the 80s. Once they cracked open that can of horror movies, and especially Halloween did it, and then, and then Friday the 13th and all the stuff that rolled in afterwards. That was, even though there was horror before that, there was The Hills Have Eyes, there was all that stuff. Now I'm drawing a blank. The Night of Living Dead, Leatherface, all that stuff. It wasn't until 1978 or so that it really started to find a stride. Because before that, those movies, they were there, and people who watched them loved them, but they didn't get a lot of notice. All of a sudden, here comes Halloween, a movie made for like nothing that made millions upon millions of dollars. I mean, seriously, it made bank compared to what they paid for it.
You guys.
Yeah. And so, yeah, everybody tried to see what else they could make stick, It's no story that it's true that basically the people who did Friday the 13th said, how can we replicate Halloween? And that's all it was originally, and then it just went from there, and they tried new things to see how far they could push the envelope before they got pushed off the edge.
Yeah.
That's why you see, as the movie's going, they got gorier and gorier and gorier, before CGI, it was all about real effects.
I'd rather have bad real effects, than have bad special effects. Because at least with real effects, they look like they belong in the movie. Where it's bad special effects, they always have that weird look, like you obviously know it's not real. Or at least, if you're using props and stuff, it's real. It just might look kind of tacky. You know what I mean?
Yep. The guy who did real quick, the guy who did Dawn of the Dead was actually a veteran who was like a medic who was in Vietnam or something. And so he purposely, they said, make it as real as possible. We want this to look like it would look if you were out on the field. So they did their darndest to do just that.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest too, though. In the 80s, every movie had boobs in it, whether it was comedy,
well, there was that, yeah,
or anything else. So that was that was another reason why those movies were popular. Guns and boobs. Yeah,
the final girl. Yeah, the birth of the final girl, basically. Yeah.
But Batman, what scares you? I'm going to tell you what scares me is watching George Clooney with bat nipples.
that was.
Yes.
By the way, one suspenseful movie that's not really a horror movie per se, but in a sense it is The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer. That movie had me sitting on the edge of my seat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You never saw anything, but just the whole idea that this guy is chasing this kid from place to place to place and killing along the way is just, it's really a well done movie.
Let's acknowledge some new people on the panel. I see Agent 47 has showed up in style, so make sure you watch your back. He's getting off you at any moment. And also, we must have missed something because a stormtrooper has showed up.
Good morning.
Hello, stormtrooper.
Hello.
Hello.
No, and we didn't miss anything, but I bet you the stormtrooper did.
Yes. Yes, you know what? I would never trust a men's washroom with stormtroopers in it.
Yeah.
The urinals would be the cleanest thing there.
Oh yeah.
Newf spanked me, Daddy, with the mask on. What the heck?
What?
You want to get spanked? Oh man!
Has anybody guessed what Coolcat Terri is yet?
Yeah, has anybody?
Nobody has. Nobody has. I'll tell you what. I'll give you guys another hint. So this character is from a comic series, as well as they have been used in some TV show appearances, but no movies.
Hmm.
A comic book character.
Yeah, he drifted me off right there. I'm out.
La Parca?
Nope.
No. Lady Death?
Nope.
Damn.
Wow.
Yes, keep coming. Let's bring Paul in here and let's
Don't
bring
worry.
Axel back.
I got
in
my
here.
friend Google.
He's gonna be
Hey,
Google.
master.
Give me dead people.
Pretty much. Scary comics, please.
Yeah, I definitely thought I had it with La Catrina because that's actually the female version visual of the Day of the Dead. Basically covers all of them, and I'm like, oh man. But real quick, I have a question for Arnold.
Yeah.
Arnold, what would you sound like if you played Batman?
Really, man?
I got it.
Boy.
Well, would this really sound like this? I mean, I sound like this all of the time, even when I do all of my movies. And nothing really ever changes with this Conan and the Terminator. I'm always sound the same, but just like, what's the difference between you and me? I'm not the one winning hockey pads. Sounding me good? Huh?
Say swear to me. Say swear to me.
Joker, swear to me. Come on. I'm going to kick you off of the plane here. I'm going to choke you to death. Shit. All right. Skeleton key.
Nope.
All right. Good stuff. Man, this has been awesome. We've had a good time here so far this morning. I can't remember. Did I add any extra topics that we haven't gotten into? I mean, that's part of the Halloween part. Let's talk about maybe your favorite Halloween memory or gaming memory, or just like trick or treating, if you guys do that at all. Some people don't, and that's cool. But let's start with that. And Scrub, how about you, man? Any particular memory stand out to you from a Halloween party or going trick or treating? Favorite costume that you had?
Yeah, I guess I'd say one because I really don't do too much of the trick or treating stuff, especially when I was younger. Because by the time I was able to go on my own, it was more going to parties, theme dress. But there was one time there's a school in our town we used to call it's called Satan School, and basically it was a condemned school that the fire department would do like fires to practice on how to put them out and do training. But everybody made this big story about how there was a kid killed in the school, and so they had to condemn the school. And then once they closed the school up, everybody would go, and on different parts of the year, witches would do different rituals and stuff and sacrifice a bull and children. So one day, me and my friends, it's on YouTube somewhere, not under my channel. We went and did videotaping and walking through the school, and you had to actually like park maybe miles away and walk through woods and everything to get to school. And it is kind of scary because they did have cows and stuff that walk through this area, and you will find a dead one every now and then. So folks were like, oh, wow, did you really sacrifice? And it was creepy. Folks would sit there and spray paint eyes everywhere. So when you're walking around with your flashlights and you just happen to turn it one way, you got a pair of eyes looking at you, it freaked the crap out of you. But me and a bunch of my buddies just going through and having fun and making sure no one jumps up behind us. So that was one of my favorite kind of Halloween stuff. Having drinks with my friends and trying not to get caught by the cops walking through this scary broke down school. So that was one of my favorite little Halloween things.
Nice. Newf is muted, so I have no idea what he's saying.
You're muted, Newf.
Yeah, by the way, this is Safe House Sam here. You see my ugly bug in person now, it explains everything. But anyway, I'm going to keep it clean because this ain't my show. But I'll see you all on Tuesday night. I guarantee you that. All right, let's find out. Coolcat Terri, what kind of stuff What was your favorite freaky ass moment?
Oh my god.
All
Coolcat
right.
Sam should have been the host this whole time. Coolcat. Safe House Sam should have been the host this whole time.
Yes. All right. So for me, one of my most memorable like costume things is actually I was in high school and I was in art club, and so we had to make like the floats and stuff for the homecoming parade. And homecoming is usually around right around Halloween. So for the one year for art club, the theme for the whole homecoming parade was like 90s cartoons and stuff. And so the art club, we got Ninja Turtles. So we all had to dress up as like one of the Ninja Turtles. I got to be Raphael, so we had to make our own costumes. So we had like the green tights and like the like green turtlenecks, and we made like a mask. We took the lids off of trash cans and painted them green, and then put like styrofoam stuff on them and painted yellow to make like the turtle shells. And we put that all on. And so we were walking. So I had a dress as a Ninja Turtle, holding a Little Caesars pizza box, and then so I was tossing candy out of the pizza box to the kids at the parade. So like that was my most memorable thing that I ever did for Halloween ish, is dressing as Raphael, and like we were playing like the Ninja Turtle like theme song on the float, and it was just a great time. It was a lot of fun. So that was like my biggest memory. It was doing that for sure. Like nothing really scary, but that was definitely probably my most memorable costume thing I've ever done. For sure. But that's all I already have. And then I guess I'll give you guys a final hint, because this hint will be the biggest giveaway. My character is actually a Superman villain. There you go. That's narrow it down big time for you guys.
Sir Shaddai's over there trying to Google as fast as he can.
Hey Siri.
I'm sorry.
The heck is he supposed to be? I was going to say, you a boxer, an ugly boxer? What are you?
I don't remember the name of Shaddai's character, but I know it's from Naruto. But I can't remember his name.
It is.
Toby.
I see the queen has graces in her house. Hello, Queen Zelda.
I can't even see with this damn mess since it's only one hole to see. So I'm like going like this back and forth.
Oh, are you supposed to be Victor Zaz?
Victor Zaz?
What? No.
Zaz from the DC comics. Is Zaz,
No.
the prison guy or whatever?
No. And Zaz
he's into knives
villain.
and carving people up. He's into that's Batman.
I'm definitely playing a female supervillain for Superman. All right, Superman. Zaz is Batman.
Boner girl. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, Paul, go ahead. Have at her.
Oh yeah, for Halloween stuff. When I was a young child, I was the March Adams poster child, and so every year my dad would work with or be responsible for the haunted house. So a lot of my Halloween memories are being part of the haunted house. What was really cool is, even though you knew everybody that was working in the house and you knew how they were dressed and what they were doing, you could still go through those houses and get the crap scared out of you. Even though you knew who was behind the mask and what they were doing because you'd seen in the daylight. And in some cases, as I got older, I helped build some of the sets and stuff. So it was always fun because when we would do it, at least back in those days, we would actually find an old, if you've ever been to Sacramento, there's a bunch of old, what you would almost call a mansion. And they're still standing from like the early 1900s. So you'd say, hey, can we rent out the top floor or the bottom floor and use it as a haunted house? And they would. So we'd go in and we'd decorate everything and make it look older than it is. And it was really kind of cool. And it'd be fun to get the public to go to those places. And, they were supporting March of Dimes and whatever, but it was still some of the best memories I have. And plus, got any excuse to dress up for not just Halloween night, but for like the entire month leading up to it. So there you go. Always fun. That's it. That's all I got. That's it.
Terri, is it Skeleton Girl?
No.
No?
You know, and I know Superman, and I can't even place who that is. She must be a lesser known villain.
Been around since the 80s, and she's made a lot of appearances throughout. She's been in recent comics as well, so she's not lesser known. It's just she's definitely underutilized, but she's not lesser known.
Comic Vine.
Oh, I'll give you a hint. She's also Irish. Scrub got it. Scrub got it. There we go. Silver Banshee.
Banshee.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, she's definitely was not on my radar. Give it to Apex since I don't play a bunch of PC games because I'm on laptop and I'm usually on console. So they said it right after me. So
all right, Apex. All right, dude. Apex, if you have Discord or something, I would need your name so I could send you. Like I said, I have like a 4-page Word document of games to choose from. So I need a way to send you that. So if you have Discord or Facebook Messenger or something that I can just send you the pictures of the list, that would be great. So just let me know what that is. And yeah, Silver Banshee. It's definitely one of those villains that I always really, really liked, and she's has a great story, but she's just not really utilized to her fullest potential. Like whenever they do writing for her character, they definitely don't do her justice. Like she's a really good character though. She's just definitely underutilized, but she's been around since the 80s, and they brought her back in like the New 52 comics, and then they had her in the new Supergirl show, and then I think they had her in for the Arrowverse thing, and then had her in I think it was Justice League, the animated Justice League. She had an appearance in there too.
Cool. Good stuff. Well, congratulations, Apex. Get in contact with Coolcat Terri, and like I said, she'll give you a pick of one of those games. So there you go. Let's give a shout out to the chat, and then we'll catch up with the panel and everybody to continue this conversation about our favorite Halloween themes. Axel said he's going to pass out on this one, but that's okay.
No, I thought of something.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, that's good. We'll get to you in just a sec. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. We've had a lot of late people jumping in to join us on this fantastic day, including Philly Eagle, a good friend and fan of the podcast. Philly, thank you so much for being here, brother. Crispy Rambo, Joe Bailey, what's happening? Good to see you guys here as well. Who else has joined us in a bit later on this morning? Shane Tomlin, what's happening, Shane? Good to see you here as well. Titan Drago still hanging out with us this morning. Who else we got here? HTK 360, our good brother HTK. What's happening, Peter? Good to see you. Iceman is still hanging out with us. Loon Smile, what's going on, Loon Smile? Casket Repair, Cyber Gunter. The list goes on, guys. You are fantastic. Thank you so much again for being here. Right now, sitting at about 37 live viewers concurrently, which is pretty awesome. Greatly appreciate that. And we do get a lot of people on the replay. So those people who watch this podcast on the replay afterwards, we've had nothing but a lot of kind words. People constantly complimenting how awesome our panel is, the diversity, the difference of opinions, but at the same time, like I said, keeping things on the level, which is good, that sort of stuff. So we really appreciate the love and support, and make sure you go out and, like I said, support all of these panel members when you are not watching the show, because they are always interacting on Twitter, and some people have their own channels here as well, and they make some really great content. But we'll talk more about that at the end of the show. Let's keep on going. Gone Mad is lurking, making his breakfast. Well, thank you, Gone Mad. Let's get back to the conversation. And who hasn't had a chance to speak up yet? Who hasn't had a chance to talk about their favorite Halloween moment? Princess Zelda, you haven't yet. Axel, you haven't yet.
That's right.
Is that it? And then myself? Craig?
I know I don't have anything. All of them are horrible for my end.
You got nothing to say, Shaddai?
Huh?
You got a horrible rear end? Is that what you said?
No, I never said that.
He spent a lot of Halloweens in prison, apparently. They've all been bad.
Yeah, he gets a lot more tricks than he does treats, that's for sure.
Oh, my God.
That's right.
I'll go first so we can
Also
save Princess
shower
Zelda for
faucets.
last.
Go ahead, Axel. Go right ahead.
All right, so I actually have, when I was young, growing up where I grew up, there was an outbreak of people putting needles and razor blades in Halloween candy. So of course my parents saw it, And they're like, oh, we're not going trick-or-treating or anything next year. But of course, us being kids, we wanted candy. So they took us to retirement homes to trick-or-treat with the old folks there. And of course, they all had the same kind of candy, and that's all we got was hard candies that year. But even after we got all the hard candies from the old folks' homes, we went. My parents were still paranoid, and so was I. I was scared of trick-or-treating, scared to eat any candy. That we would take the county actually started X-raying candy for these things, so we weren't allowed to eat our candy until it got X-rayed by the county. So we all rolled up to the hospital, and there was a huge line of cars of people waiting to get their candies X-rayed because it was so serious. And to this day, that has stuck with me that, like, people can put stuff in the candy. Don't go trick-or-treating. And I really haven't gone trick-or-treating ever since, outside of going to old folks' homes. That's the only place I've ever gone trick-or-treating that I can remember. I don't do the door-to-door. I don't do neighborhoods. I don't do anything. It's just old folks' homes to do the trick-or-treating.
At this time of age, video call just for trick-or-treating.
Yeah. Yeah, now you gotta trick or treat via Zoom.
Yeah, so, pretty much.
So yeah, that was something that I remember. It's not a great Halloween memory, but it's definitely a memory that I have. And I thought it was scary.
Nice.
When I was little.
What's sad is most of that was overhyped and blown out of proportion. The fact that it's scary. Yeah, it was so bad.
Oh, I have a second one, a more funny one. We did a haunted house when I was older. And, of course, being with my friends and stuff, we all got drunk before we went to this haunted house. So we're running through the haunted house drunk. And there's this area where they have this big cylinder spinning. So when you're walking through it, it feels like you're leaning over. So here's drunk me, leaned over as far as I could lean over without falling, thinking I'm about to fall. In this haunted house, holding on to the railing. They had a railing. And I'm over there like, I'm going to fall. And I'm like crawling, holding myself across through the railing. And all I had to do was stand up straight. But of course, I was drunk. And the optical illusion got to me. And me and all my friends did it all at once. And I have a video of it somewhere. I probably should have looked it up. But it's so funny of us just trying to make it across this railing, about to fall over like idiots. Oh my God, haunted house. That is the scared. I don't remember, but I remember almost falling in the cylinder because it was spinning. Yeah, those are some good Halloween memories for me.
Great. Love hearing this stuff, man. This is awesome. I love these stories. These shows like this are great too. Great diversity from all of the gaming nonsense we hear each and every week. Princess Zelda.
So when I grew up, I was in a rural area. So when kids went trick-or-treating, they literally came on tractors. So there would be maybe 6 kids the whole time. So you're waiting there for hours, waiting to see a tractor's headlights come down the driveway. Because it was so rural. And so you could give out like giant candy bars and you were the coolest. But a weird thing, like a weird fact about like the area where we live is there's this story that there was an accident on these train tracks and somebody lost their lives. And now the story is, they keep everybody safe from it happening again. So when I was like 17, we went to this railroad tracks where this happened. And you're literally at the bottom of a hill and you don't push the accelerator and your car will literally go up and over this hill. And it was just too much. We shouldn't have done it on Halloween, but it is so freaky. And I don't know how it works, but that is like the spooky story from our area.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's terrifying. I don't know how it happens. It's really you don't push the accelerator and your car will go over this railroad tracks on this hill.
All right. Who hasn't had a chance to share their stories?
I think that's it.
That's it, except for me.
Yep.
Well, I wish I could tell you guys something great and exciting, but unfortunately, no, I don't really have a lot of great stories. I know when I was a kid, I was very unoriginal. I think I dressed up as a ninja about 3 or 4 years in a row. I just love being a ninja. I always going around, and that was even before, Mortal Kombat came out and really made ninjas super cool with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. But I used to dress as a ninja and that sort of stuff. And but I was this one Halloween, this memory of, I don't know what the hell I was that year, but like my suit kind of ripping halfway through, and it was always raining. It was most of the times I went trick or treating was always miserable. It was cold and windy and raining and shit. And you remember back in the day, you used to have all those. Remember the early costumes? A lot of them came with sort of like plasticky style capes and stuff, and everything basically 5 minutes in, everything's ripping apart. It's just cheap, all those old plastic crappy masks and stuff. And best haul ever. Me and my buddy, I think we started trick-or-treating, I think one time it was about like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We got on it early. I think we ended after 10 o'clock at night. We were a little bit 6 hours, and we did like whole communities. And when we ended, we legitimately had over 2 garbage bags packed to the hilt. Like we had to go back and actually dump our bags and then keep going. It was crazy. We had candy for months. So I'll never forget that epic haul. And it was probably one of the last Halloweens ever went out. I had a great Halloween party too. First time I ever hosted a Halloween party at my house a few years ago with a lot of good friends. So it holds a lot of dear memories to me because we had one guy dressed up in a ghillie suit, literally came in looking like a ghillie suit Chewbacca. And one of my friends dressed up as Leatherface, looked pretty freaky. And we had we had Robin from Batman, like the original with the green and yellow costume, and my wife dressed up as a sexy witch. And I said sexy witch, okay. And it was fun. We just had a great time. We actually did like really cool games, and I actually bought like prizes and gave out for the game, so it was really cool. It was a great memory. Nothing spectacular, but just something I thought I would share because it was a lot of fun and something I'll never forget. And those are the best moments, man. Halloween's with friends, that's what it's about, because you miss them. Like most of my friends now are you guys, like because everybody's grown apart or moved away, and my Xbox community, my game podcast community, you guys are legitimately my friends, and I'd give a right arm to go hang out with you guys in person. And speaking of, I'm going to get to hang out with one of my panel members very, very soon, and I freaking can't wait. It's going to be unbelievable. Talk more about at the end of the show, but yeah, that's what happens when we get older. Everybody just kind of drifts off, and it's the only reason I keep Facebook, man, for 2 reasons: to catch up with friends that you don't see for a long time, and 2, because I needed apparently to use my Oculus Quest. So
it's not Facebook anymore; it's Meta.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Now, did anybody
ridiculous?
Did anybody else categorize when they got home with their candy? Did anybody else categorize them like this is the crappy candy, this is the good candy, and this is the best candy? Chocolate was always on the top tier candy for me.
And if anybody, we used to have a lot of old ladies in my neighborhood would constantly give apples and oranges. Perhaps that's all they had to give out. And those apples and oranges, I hate to say it, usually got thrown at something.
Back at their house. I used to have people,
what's a freaking apple, man? Come on.
Because I would go trick-or-treating in old folks' homes. They would always give us pennies. God, I'm like, what am I going to do with a stupid penny?
There's this one house in my neighborhood. Every year they would give out the kids boxes of raisins. So you should be happy for that penny, man.
Yeah, I got the raisins before.
At least you can eat the raisins. What am I going to do with a penny? Can't even buy a candy with a penny.
Anybody ever get something really odd and obtuse in a bag? Like what the hell was that? Like anything really weird?
No.
Candy corn is the devil's candy. Yeah.
I like candy corn. I hate circus peanuts, though. Those are the worst.
Of course, Terri loves the candy corn.
I don't love candy corn. I can tolerate candy corn.
I used to love candy corn when I was little. I used to eat it layer by layer.
No,
it'd be really cool, and I think I'm going to do this for next year. So I think, because I'm not prepared to do it this year since today is Halloween, but I think next year what I'll do for Halloween is I'm going to buy some like gift cards or something, like little cool things, like $10 Xbox card or something like that, and I should give them to some random kid in their bags. That'd be kind of cool, eh?
Oh yes.
Something different, like give them a candy, of course, but inside the little bag is gonna be like, here's your little gift card. Go enjoy, Google points or something like that. Whatever.
I just want somebody to give a kid broccoli or something. That would be so hysterical.
Bag of carrots.
Cleaning egg. No. That's when they come back. That's when they come back later and they throw eggs at your house.
Exactly.
Like, don't do that.
Smashing pumpkins.
Give me a flashback.
Oh my god, that'd be so epic.
Some really fat kid shows up to your doorstep and you give him a gym membership. You're gonna need this, kid.
hey, read Iceman, what he got?
What's Iceman? I went trick or treating. I got condoms from this lady in the neighborhood plus apples. Oh my god!
You're gonna need this plus energy later on.
Be safe. Here you go.
Hilarious. I
Be
don't know what you
safe
thought
during
you were going to do
Halloween.
with the candy when you got home, but
God, man,
the candy
there
was
a
for
house member
afterwards.
when I was a kid that gave me a full-size Cracker Jack boxes. Hey, I loved Cracker Jack. Popcorn balls, popcorn balls were always middle tier for me.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't eat candy if it doesn't have peanuts or almonds in it.
Oh man!
What was that back in the day, Casket Repair, when the pet rocks were a huge thing? You remember that, right? That was a craze back
in the 70s. Yeah.
In the 70s, yeah.
Pet rocks, yeah.
Maybe Paul can tell us about the pet rock.
Yeah.
Trick or treating.
I don't remember the 70s, but that's okay.
I wasn't alive, so I don't remember anything.
Awesome. Great stuff. We will do two minor topics here before we close the show. First of all, the Guardians of the Galaxy game is coming out and causing quite a stir, but a good stir in a good way. I'm seeing a lot of positive feedback from it, which is really nice considering it comes from Eidos Montreal, who is known for Shadow the Tomb Raider, and their co-partners over Crystal Dynamics got basically roasted over the coals for the Avengers. So here we go. Very similar style of game, but obviously different outcomes. Has anybody on the panel had a chance to dive into this game? What do you think of it? And is it a good thing that Guardians of the Galaxy is sort of getting good press instead of the bad because of the way things transpire with the Avengers? And Scrub's got his hand up on this one, so go for it, Scrub.
Yeah. I'll give you about what I've played so far. It is totally different than the Avengers. It is vastly different as far as the gameplay and what it is, and I think that's because of the two companies that are putting it out. It seems one is putting out a game to do microtransactions to get you to come do daily or weekly stuff and gain costumes and all that stuff with the Avengers game. Another one seems like this is a game for you to have fun, play through, and we'll give you stuff through the game like different outfits and stuff for your characters, which would be the Guardians of the Galaxy. And just because of that decision right there changes up the gameplay and changes up what you feel about the game. To me, Avengers feels like a never-ending struggle to get the next new character or buy the next thing. It seems like the gameplay is all set up for you to get to the next whatever they roll out. Guardians of the Galaxy has a great soundtrack, as we know with the movies they do. The gameplay, you're playing as Peter Quill the whole game. So for folks who don't know, you don't get to play as each one of the characters, but what you're doing is almost like a strategy base. When you're fighting large groups of enemies, you're playing as Peter Quill, but then you're directing each one of the teams with their abilities to help you fight through your enemies and move to the next section. Even when you're going through the game, you will learn and you get more story-driven stuff about each character that you're playing with. It's not just all Peter Quill centric. You do learn about Groot. You do learn about, Rocket Raccoon, his past life and what's going on. And they are dropping names and hints to other people in the Marvel universe that may be coming later on in the movies or in the video games. And I like that. To me, the visuals are better than Avengers. Like I said, the gameplay is definitely better than Avengers. The story is better than Avengers. So if you've had both, if you've had Avengers before and you're worried about this game, I wouldn't be worried about it. I think this is a vast, large, huge departure from this game. So I give it a thumbs up right now. Like I said, I'm only through chapter 2 with this game. And when I say chapters, it's not like, 5 minutes going on chapter 2. Each chapter takes a little bit. You're playing 30 minutes plus each chapter. So there is some time, and it's not a quick just hit 'em up game. You can play it that way, but there's so many different things you can pick up. You can go around a corner and find little hidden gems. You can find hidden outfits if you take the time for you, not just you, but all the rest of the characters that you're playing with. I think it's a good game right now, and all the good news is getting, especially if they're comparing it to the Avengers, is well worth it.
Mhm.
So if you're on the fence about getting the game, go ahead and check it out. It's worth it. I'm loving it. And on that note, since I do have to run out, I just want to say thank you for Princess Zelda to come grace us with her presence. We appreciate it. It's been a good Sunday chat. Happy Halloween. We're going to have fun, get you some candy, hang out with your family and your friends. This is a good time to check out fall, check out the weather. You got football, you got baseball, you got video games, you got candy, you got scary movies. This is a great weekend. Thanks to everybody in the panel. And I'll just see you guys later. Y'all know where to find me. Twitter, ScrubNurse3. You can find me on Xbox at ScrubSpaceNurse. And I'm always on here on Sundays. And then I'm on Gaming Beyond the Box on Wednesdays with Wilmy Hood and the crew. What is that? 9 p.m. Eastern. So
Absolutely. There you go.
Everybody tonight.
And
Got
congratulations.
Yes,
Agent 47.
Oh,
has got
thank you.
Hits to make and money to make. So hits to make.
He quickly
That's
came
right.
to
Get
his
that hit
man.
on, Scrubbers. Get that hit on.
yeah,
All
I
right,
didn't
brother.
have any. I didn't have any fake guns to show off, so that's why I'm empty-handed. So, all right, guys, I'll see y'all later.
Creativity. You can
All
kill
right.
them with a needle too, or pencils in John Wick's case. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. I'll check
All right,
y'all
thanks
later.
again, Scrub.
Yeah, have a
See you
good
next
one.
week, bro. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Don't
Bye.
tell me your stall.
All right, let's bring Cerebral Paul back in here. Good again. Thanks to Scrub Nurse. Like I said, duty calls. She's got to get going, but great to have him on as always. And we'll see him back here next Sunday. Anybody else on this particular panel have a chance to play Guardians of the Galaxy? I can say I have not, so I'll rule myself up because I want to play it. I want to buy it, but I just right now, man, things have been just kind of nuts, and games are a little bit hard to come by these days for old Newf Nukem, so I'm just going to have to wait and see what happens in the next few weeks. But anyway, who else has had a chance to give this one a go?
Wait, real quick, let me throw a couple of things out there since I was backstage when I was brought up.
Sure.
I did not have a pet rock. I am a little bit too young for that. We did have mood rings though, so we still had mood rings going on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
And
have
also
sea
the whole-
monkeys?
Yes,
You
we
had
had those
monkeys?
as well. Yes, we had sea monkeys.
There you go.
Little brine shrimp. Had to have the little brine shrimp. Yeah.
Invisible dogs.
Yeah. Yes, actually, yes. I had one of those as well. And the I Got a Rock is from the Peanuts, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there as I age myself way out. And no, I haven't had a chance to play the new game. I want to. I've heard nothing but great things about it. But you know, too many things are pulling me too many directions and things like that right now. So that'll come later.
I just got to point out real quick, Shaddai switched his background to a prison shower. I just-
I didn't even notice that.
Nobody was paying attention, eh? Should I?
I can just make it out. I'm like, is that a shower?
Must be a water problem because all of a sudden he's on top of Zelda and she's on a beach.
Ain't that something?
The pipes are draining.
I also noticed that Coolcat Terri's background is animated.
Yeah, I noticed that when we started before.
I love it. I love it. She came fully decked out on this Halloween special. I love it. Love the hair, the wig, or whatever she's got going. It's great. She looks awesome. Did a great job in your makeup. Even Lady Foxfire's in the chat. She also complimented you on it. Hi, Foxy. How are you doing, girl?
The good thing is that at least mine is not animated because it would have taken a
Oh my
whole
God.
different thing.
Oh my God! Yeah, like Paul's inadvertently
I mean,
animated
you can
background
just
on.
get in your laptop and go sit in your shower, man.
Paul's gonna have his inadvertently Remember
Man,
Paul's
you got it.
inadvertently animated background with a half-naked dude walking behind him?
Yeah,
Oh,
get
my
somebody, get somebody who's
Talk
real
for
good
life.
with After Effects to pull that part for you and put it behind you as you walk through.
I
Yeah.
can't, I can't believe Lost
And he's
Forever
got the
said
little
that forgot
pixelated
his
thing
soap on
there.
the rope.
Forgot his soap on a rope.
That's
You should have had that around your neck. Wear it like a chain. Block of soap. That's
You should,
That's
awesome.
right. That's your
you
bling
know what?
bling in prison.
Since we're having fun in here, give me a
Yes.
sec.
Oh, what's he doing now?
Uh-oh.
He's left the camera.
Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm in the same
Go ahead,
boat
bro.
as Cerebral and Newf. I have a budget every month, and right now it's a toss up between Metroid Dread and Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't know which one I'm going to get, but I'm hoping to get either one I get. I think I'll be happy because they're both highly rated. But Metroid Dread, I'm such a huge fan of Metroid, and on the other side, I'm a huge fan of the Guardian of the Galaxy. So yeah, just like,
He dropped the
oh my
soap.
god, and he dropped it.
Yeah, it was my mistake.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
Mistake. Yeah, sure.
It was a mistake.
This episode is brought to you by Shaddai Soap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Taste my
I'm.
water. No, this time.
Everybody's talking it up, but as you said,
Mhm.
I'm a little wary to buy Guardians of the Galaxy just because Marvel's Adventures is just so bad. It looks great, but it's so bad. I just no. So hopefully, Guardians of the Galaxy is much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait to play it. But like I said, things are what they are. There's so many. That's the problem right now. There's just so many damn games. Like I want to buy Resident Evil 4 for my VR, right? So it's just games are coming at the yin yang, and you don't have the time and the money to keep up with them all. So
Exactly.
it's just insane.
Have you seen
Right.
February's release schedule? It's like a game every other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like next year, the start of next year, you better hope somebody gives you some money for Christmas, or we're going to lotto or something.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, it's only gonna get worse for me if I get my own VR unit at some point because Christmas and my birthday's coming up. Yeah, it's just gonna get more and more. Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah, no, all this stuff is coming out. And then people on Twitter making you feel guilty, right? Always posting their pictures of shit, and you're just like over here, like, dude,
Yeah.
you're making me jelly over here. You're making me jelly. Shit. Thank God for Game Pass. Honest to God, especially in times like this. Man,
Yeah.
oh man.
Didn't you say
Exactly.
you didn't want?
Now, who would have thought we would have heard Newf ever say that? Who would have thought we ever would have heard Newf say that?
Yeah, that's why I said that. I'm like, very surprised.
Wait, when did you become a Game Pass subscriber, Noof? What month was it?
I think it was in July because my Xbox Live Gold subscription was running out, and I was getting ready to go buy Gold.
Yeah.
Of course, all these games were coming out, like Flight Simulator and Back for Blood, and there was a variety of games, Psychonauts, and I'm kind of looking it up, and I'm like, man, well, this is going to cost this much, and this much, and then when I renewed my Gold, or before I renewed Gold, I basically put in a set free. I'm just going to get Game Pass. This is going to be a big help, and sure enough, like my Gold and everything just transferred over, and so basically no subscription fees for me, at least for the next year. So that was a big help.
That's awesome.
And I've got to
Yeah.
play lots of games that I wouldn't have had the time or the money to play otherwise. Well, certainly not so much the time, but definitely the money.
So Texas had this giant freeze last year, and Noof got Game Pass this year. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's gonna freeze over here again this year.
Newf will get Game. That's what somebody forgot to say. Newf will get Game Pass when Texas freezes over.
And guess what happened?
Shit. No, good stuff, man. It's definitely the best deal in gaming, hands down. Applaud them for that. So,
Oh my god, Iceman. The virus made him get it.
alrighty, good stuff. All right. Any further thoughts before we close the show? No.
I do want to say though, for Guardians of the Galaxy, it's on my list. I don't have it yet, but what I would rather have is a standalone Rocket Raccoon game. Like, why can't they just make him the lead? Because like he's the coolest character. He's insane and he's crazy and it'd be hilarious. I just want a standalone Rocket Raccoon game.
I actually do have a question for Paul. How is Age of Empire 4?
Oh, I mean, if you like that
Fantastic.
kind of game, I like it. They've kind of gone back to the a little bit simpler, like Age of Empires 2. There's not quite as much micromanagement as far as like the fields go, the farming goes and stuff. So it's nice. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, and it's beautiful. It really, really looks good. Yeah, I'm. If you're into that kind of game, and it's on Game Pass, so it's no risk to you,
Well,
I would
I
check it
play
out.
Halo Wars. That's the closest one.
This is on a whole different level than Halo
That-
4.
Yeah, this is
that's what
way
that's
different
what I
than.
mean. See, that's what I mean. But
This is
it's like,
like this is like Civilization,
Mhm.
Command and Conquer. It's
Think more
it
StarCraft-ish.
right,
You can
StarCraft.
build walls, but they're useless.
Yeah,
no, but
they
that's what
are.
I'm saying because it has the same. You have to pretty much control your army on where to go. Being your strategy, your plan.
Yeah, it has a
planification.
paper rock scissor effect on the army too, where
Mm.
the spearmen are good against cavalry, cavalry are good against archers, and archers
Oh,
are
I
good against
gotcha.
spearmen.
Yeah, and it's
I
and
got
it's balanced out really well for that. I was about
Mhm.
to say that the balancing out on that is works out really well.
Yeah, I
That's
like it
right.
a lot, and I especially love the history videos. I know that when they showed it on the Xbox show, everybody was against it, but I love history, so I love the historical videos and the fact that they're showing you current archaeological projects for everything. The fact that they show you the tapestry, the King Richard, not Richard, sorry,
Yeah,
King William tapestry, that was awesome.
Mhm.
and it's cool. They even show you they have one for the crossbows and and they
Yeah,
show you how they worked and that they really weren't that great of a weapon in some ways, and they
Mhm.
go through the whole breakdown.
Mhm.
It's really kind of cool.
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. If you're into RTS, this is definitely one of the better ones right now. And the AI is crazy good. They will flank
Yeah,
you. They
Yeah.
will flank you. I've never
yeah,
been flanked by an AI as much as I've been flanked in this game.
yeah. Even on easy, the AI is pretty relentless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one in this panel that's used to flanking is Eternal Shaddai.
you you got to
Oh
keep
man.
your eyes behind your head, on the back of your head, Shaddai.
We're always poking fun. This is great. Sim, good morning. How are you?
We
All
have
the
to
way
have
from
humor in here.
Newfoundland, Canada. What's going on, brother? Good to see you here. Great episode, everybody. I love it. Happy Halloween to everybody in the chat, to the panel. If you're going out with your kids, just be safe, have fun. God, I can't wait for this COVID shit to be over so that we can get back to like normal shit. We've all been wearing masks for 2 freaking years now. Now we want to take them off for Halloween. That's the
No,
problem.
you
You're
know
like,
what's
damn,
messed up about it?
huh?
We have to wear now. Today's Halloween, so we gotta wear a mask on top of another mask. It's
Oh my
crazy.
Yeah.
God. Ugh.
So
Anyway,
for people that is
That's
like,
why I love that meme going around with Michael Myers masking and social distancing since
yeah.
1978. Yeah.
no,
So
it's the same
funny.
thing for people that are dressed up as doctors. You gotta have like a pretty much a pile of pretty much,
Yeah,
face
biohazard
masking
suit
like
or
that
something.
thick.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, Philly is going to wear a mask in 2025. I feel like we're going to be wearing masks and taking vaccinations and shit till 2025. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
I gotta tell you,
Um,
I've gone 2 years without a cough, a cold, a flu, or anything. The mask is amazing. I'm probably never gonna stop wearing masks because I hate getting sick.
I rarely ever get sick. Knock on wood. Last week wasn't like a flu. It's just like one of those rare things that just
No,
knocked me out last week. I was
that's
super,
okay.
super tired.
Every single time that I go to the store, I'm just gonna be carrying a measure ruler.
Mhm.
So every single time when people are like, "Hey, I haven't seen you for that," hey, look my ruler.
The social distancing stick.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
pretty
social
much.
distancing stick. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go, yeah.
Pretty much. Like,
Back off,
You
Jack.
should
Yeah,
just
people-
wear like a
back up.
wear a 6 foot stick on your hat,
Yeah.
in your head.
Pretty much.
You're whacking people at the freaking
Carry on ruler. I'll get a carry on ruler. That's
God
okay.
damn. Or you just got a constant, those drink bottle holders. You got 2 sanitization sprays up there
Yeah.
instead.
Construction workers have those folded yard stick or
Mhm.
whatever. So I'm just gonna flip it so you go like a yard. Like stay away from me.
Oh shit. Happy Halloween, my BD on the 3rd, daughters on the 5th. Well, happy birthday, Lost Forever in advance, and happy birthday to your daughter as well. Hope you guys have a
Dreadpool is
great
crazy.
day. So at least you'll have candy on the birthday. Where's Dreadpool? Is Dreadpool in the chat? Oh, he is there.
He says,
Come on, Dread.
spokesperson from prison credit card. What's in your prison wallet?
Oh my god, the prison wallet.
It's a day pass. Yeah, you can't buy anything. You just get a day pass, extra hour in the yard.
Yeah, duct tape and a silver dollar. That's all that's.
Well, let's wrap it up, guys. Let's get to the outros. We will start with the amazing Princess Zelda, like I said, who's new to this podcasting scene, but she's already making an imprint on people in the community and has made a huge splash with Axel and Doggy Dog. I'll let them introduce that in a second. But Princess Zelda, again, thank you for, before everything, coming out and being part of our chats. We've seen you here for months, hanging out with us and being a part of our show in the chat. So it's an honor to have you on our panel, to be here today. We need more ladies like you in the community, beacon of light, someone very positive. Like I said, I can tell already that you're a ton of fun. You always got great costumes and put off a great demeanor. So thank you for being here and being part of this show. Where can people check out your content or anything you got going on?
Don't forget your wand.
Newf, thank you for having me. I had so much eternal. I had so much fun today. This was an amazing experience, and it's no secret. I absolutely love your podcast. I look forward to Tuesday evenings and Sunday mornings. This phenomenal panel. I want to thank each and every one of you for the countless hours of fun and interesting entertainment you provide the public each and every week. I do look forward to Sunday mornings, and when I wake up, the first thing I do is click on this station. I absolutely love it. So thank you all. This was so fun. You can find me with Axel and Doggy Fridays, 7 Central on the Iconic Video Gaming Podcast. Or if I'm not there, then I'm trapped in the castle waiting for Link. Thank you again.
I'm very surprised you didn't make that. You didn't make that voice from Axel. I think it was 2 weeks ago, with all that crazy soft voice reading.
Oh, the sexy reading.
Yeah, the sexy reading.
The sexy reading. Yeah.
That was funny. That was cool.
Great stuff. And shifting over to the man with the large bat signal on his chest, and he is the host of that particular podcast, but I'll let him explain more about that. It is the wonderful, charismatic Axel 1324.
Hey, all right, everybody. Thank you so much, Newf, for always having such great topics here. I love today's topic, Halloween. Mm-hmm. And thanks to Newf, actually, because through Newf is where I found my co-host in the Iconic Video Game Podcast. But you can find me here on YouTube at Axel1324 Gaming, same on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter, Axel1324, just like you see it on the screen, and it is 1324, not 1234. Mm-hmm. And same on Xbox. And then you can catch me, Princess Zelda, and Doggy on the Iconic Video Game Podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Newf will actually be our guest next week. Can't wait to have him on there. It's going to be fantastic.
Indeed. It's going to be a good time. All right. Speaking of a person who knows a good time when he sees one, it's the man with the wheels. It's Cerebral Paul.
Hey, you can find me at Cerebral Paul 1 on Twitter, Cerebral Paul on Twitch, Cerebral Paul on YouTube. You can find me on Tuesdays with the Retro Renegades. We make Gaming After Dark look tame. Let's see, and then on Wednesdays you can find me in Midweek Gaming with Stubbs. Thursdays where can you find me? Oh yeah, 4GQTV, and then that's about it for the official shows, except for this one, of course, on Sundays. And sometimes I show up with Flamish on Sundays as well. Just depends on how I'm feeling and if there's a good football game on. And thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Princess Zelda, for joining us. It was nice to finally meet you face to face, as it were. Even though you didn't see my face, but, be thankful. You can ask these guys. You don't want to see my face early in the morning. Yeah.
I've seen it. You look great.
Don't worry. He's in The Last of Us every single time, so, that's Joel right there.
There you go. So, thank you very much, everybody. Everybody have a great week and enjoy your games.
Yeah, Paul.
And Forza Horizon coming soon this week, end of this week.
Ooh, true.
Yeah.
So,
Paul's so old, he's going to start his own Playboy channel. It's going to feature dust bunnies.
Oh. Ouch.
Sorry, positive one in there. Heading up to Cell Block 22, Eternal Shaddai, who's always making some appearances and doing some fun stuff. Shaddai, let people know where they can catch you.
All right. First things first, it was a really good pleasure to meet Princess Zelda in here, have a talk with video games. She does have a really good sense of humor. I saw her on the chat. But first, everybody can find me on Twitter at Eternal Shaddai. Also, that's the same, is written there on the Xbox console. You can find me there. Also, I'll be doing podcasting in Spanish on Saturdays at Cultura de Mancos. And I'll be streaming lately on Twitch at ETE Shaddai. Just for people saying, what the heck is ET? Just abbreviation for Eternal, since it doesn't want to fit. So you can find me everywhere, and let's keep gaming.
I definitely find you in the prison washroom, apparently.
Pretty much, if it wasn't because of this that fell off my hand.
It fell.
Remember, it is slippery. What do you expect?
Yeah, Eternal Shaddai's one going, oops, I dropped the soap. What am I going to do?
Hey, see, that's why Dreadpool was like a rope on the soap. So what I'm gonna do is like exactly like in like Master Chief. I'm gonna put it on electrical cord or electrical rope so nobody could actually touch it.
Indeed. All right, ending off with the always fabulous Coolcat Terri. Like I said, it was dynamite today with her costume outfit and had everybody stumped. Great stuff, and then a great background as well. Coolcat Terri, let people know what you got going on. And just to remind everyone, all of the links and stuff to their channels are in the podcast description on my page, so feel free to click on them. If you can find them on Twitter, you'll basically at least find them just about everywhere else. So, Coolcat, where can people catch up what you're doing next?
You can catch me over on Twitter at coolcat_Terri. Usually you'll see things that are indie game related or, games stuff that I just happen to like or games that I've recently finished. Go ahead and you can check that out. Otherwise, I'm over on Twitch Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to midnight Eastern time, and I play a wide variety of games. I've been playing New World right now. I finished Far Cry 6, and I've been playing Generation Zero. If you guys remember, I recommended that for my Indie Spotlight like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So I've been playing that and some good stuff. So good variety. You can come check all that fun stuff out. And then I also have my own podcast called Just a Glimpse that you can look up on Spotify, Apple, Google.
Are you okay,
all the places.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Something happened over here that, yeah.
Such perfect timing.
Podcast bullshit.
and then just for fun little reference, but before when you guys said Dust Bunnies with Paul, it instantly made me think of like the big comfy couch. And like she had like the Dust Bunny friends. One of them was Paul. So.
I thought he was gonna do those the clock stretches.
Oh man. Great stuff. And you guys know where to find me, always in the gutter. Yes, when I'm not hanging out with this amazing panel, I am hanging out with Middle-Aged Game Guy and Titan Drago on Gaming After Dark, which is Tuesday evenings at 10 p.m. Eastern. That is 8 Mountain Time on this particular YouTube channel. Again, just a different kind of show, but always a ton of fun. All shows are a ton of fun. And like I said, can't wait to be a part of the iconic video game podcast with Axel, Doggy Dog, Princess Zelda next Friday. It's going to be a ton of fun to be there. And on the 16th of November, this is the thing I was alluding to, there won't be an official Gaming After Dark on that particular night, but there will be something quite special. I'm actually heading to Ontario on a trip, and guess who I'm going to be meeting up with? The one, the only Middle-Aged Game Guy. So can you believe it? Newf Nukem and the Middle-Aged Game Guy together for the first time ever, and we're going to try to do something special for the viewers. We'll probably be coming at you live. We don't know what's going to happen, but you already seen Mag's freaking videos, and you know what I'm like. So the two of us put together, I can only imagine. Plus, his wife's going to be there, so she'll have to try to keep us in check, perhaps, or we could be jumping off Niagara Falls.
If you give me 5 minutes, I'll reach there. I'm not that far off anyways.
What, you're down by Niagara Falls?
Actually, I'm an hour and 30 minutes away from pretty much Niagara Falls.
Well, holy shit.
On the Canadian side.
Hey, well, you're welcome
On
to
the
join
US
us, man. You're welcome to join us if you can get a prison pass. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So looking forward to that. I know the mag is as well. But anyway, that's it for us today. This has been a Dynamite podcast. Nice to kind of get away from all of just the typical gaming conversations. There wasn't a lot of great news anyway this past week, so this was a lot of fun. We learned a little bit about each other and Halloween and all that stuff. And let's get back to streaming and gaming and having some fun, and go enjoy the rest of your Halloween, everybody. Take care, have fun, and stay safe. Yeah, let's hope Tony
Hi,
Baloney
everyone.
doesn't show up, because he might have all those STDs.
Happy Halloween.
Later, everybody. Take care.